frequencies.
So the iPad, is the mic on the iPad? It's recording?
Yeah, it's recording, my dog.
All right. Once Jamie puts it on. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Woo!
Cheers. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Welcome to Champ Chat with Mike and Chu with special guest Vanessa May in the house.
Wow. Vanessa in the building. What's up,
How you
baby?
doing? How you doing, Vanessa?
I've been doing so good. How are you guys?
Good.
Good.
What was your morning like? What'd you do?
Oh, my morning was interesting. So I switched my routine around.
Yeah.
So this morning I was up at 4 a.m. We're
Wow.
on the jump rope at 4:30. We're in the gym by 5, and then we're in the other gym by 6.
Wow.
Or no, 7.
4 a.m. What time are you going to bed to reach that call time?
10:30.
Wow.
10. Yeah, 10:30 is pushing.
So what I'm hearing is your sleep sucks.
Yep.
All
I'm
right.
exhausted every day, all day.
That's funny.
But I saw your Instagram from back before. I realized you wake up like 4 o'clock in the morning and then you run and then you come to needle boxing,
Yeah.
do all 3 classes. And the next thing I know, you go up Cocoa Head, climb up almost 1,500 stairs. And then
Wild person. Who does that?
Yeah, and then you come back to the evening class to do boxing. Is that
Oh my
your?
God.
Give us what a normal
She's pretty much in camp. She's in
morning
camp.
routine looks like when you're training to be for like your model shoot or something.
Okay, so I'll walk you through a little day in the life. Yeah, my days are kind of gnarly. Like I'm pretty exhausted. Like I'm tapping out of the week by Thursday. But so normal day would be like wake up at 4, making sure I'm out of bed by 4:10 because I feel like waking up early just creates like this next level of like discipline that is really important in life. So we're out of bed by 4:10. We're getting on the jump rope at 4:30. Jump roping for 30 minutes because I literally hate it. It's absolutely miserable.
Yeah.
And so it's like such an amazing thing to like start your morning with something you hate because it gets your mind ready for the day. Like
Yeah.
if I can push through this 30 minutes of torture, like nothing's going to stop me.
Yeah.
So then I finished that at 5. I'm in the gym lifting weights by like 5:07. I'm very punctual. So everything is like on the dot. I'm in the gym by 5:07, finishing the gym by like 6. Then I'm heading home to make breakfast. And then I'm to the next gym at 7.
Where's the next
Boxing.
gym? What?
Boxing,
Oh,
you
boxing.
know, you
What was the
know.
first gym? Where?
I go to 24.
Oh, okay. 24. Hawaii Kai? Oh, shit.
Yeah. And then we're boxing from 7 to 10. Then I come home, either nap or read. I've been trying not to nap though, because I need to be more productive. So doing whatever I can for a couple hours, whether that's like work, something productive, a podcast, like something to like either work or educate myself.
Or Champ Chat.
Yeah.
Champ Chat. Yeah.
It's my
Shout out to
go-to.
Champ Chat. Yay.
It's my go-to. And then I'm chilling for a little bit around 4, I would say. I'm getting ready to go to Cocoa Head. I do Cocoa Head 2 times. And then I add in like an extra mile or 2 run after that. And then I'm either back at the gym again, boxing, or I'm in yoga.
Wow.
Damn.
So how long have you been on this routine? It's a gruesome routine. It's a grueling routine. You're up at 4 a.m. You're going to the multiple gyms. You're training Cocoa Head. I've even seen you sparring recently, getting pure action. What inspired this routine and how long have you been doing it?
This is going to get really deep.
What?
So
Why?
are you guys ready for
Oh,
this?
I'm ready. We
Yeah,
are
we
ready.
ready?
man.
Ready?
Born
Okay.
ready.
Perfect. This is going to get really deep. So I'm going to just walk you guys back through it.
Yeah.
It was about 8 months ago. I was at the lowest point of my life, to the point where it was just like I was literally having thoughts like, why am I here? Like, why am I doing this? Why am I pushing through my days? Like, this isn't worth it anymore. I hated who I was. I was so uncomfortable in my skin. I hated how I looked. I wasn't taking care of myself. And I was in a really, really horrible relationship. I feel like that's how it always starts. And I had this moment one day where I woke up and I said, wow, like I really am uncomfortable with who I am. And this isn't okay. I have no discipline. I don't do anything productive, I'm playing the victim card, like fully, like, why aren't things handed to me? And I was like, that's really not okay. Like, I'm not going to go anywhere in life. Like, I have all these dreams, I have all these goals, and I'm not doing anything to save them. Like, no one's coming to save me, you know. And I had this realization of like, the person I was with at the time was like, I believe was a reflection of who I was. And I saw that and I was like, oh my God, things have got to change. So I learned to get really comfortable with suffering. And I realized that like, to make it in life, you have to suffer. And suffering is such a beautiful thing. So when I reached the bottom, like the lowest point of my life, I found myself the most through all the pain, through all like the suffering. Like, I found myself and it was so beautiful. So I like to use this like description of like the foundation breaking. Like, imagine like a house and the house just completely just gets destroyed. But then it's like, you can either be upset or you can be like, wow, this is an amazing opportunity to rebuild the foundation. Come back stronger, come back better, like make it your dream house.
Yeah.
So I did that to myself and I said, okay, everything in my life has been handed to me. Like, I didn't really ever have to like work for anything. And I had no sense of discipline. Like, I had no idea what that was. I was like, discipline? Like, what is that? Like, what do you mean? Like, no, like what? And then I was like, oh my God, that's really not good. So I was like, okay, how can I create discipline? Do something you hate every day. That's good for you. And I was like, okay, working out. I hate it. It's miserable. So I started doing cocoa head every day. And I would literally be on this mountain crying because I was just like, I just had a rough spot. And I was like, I don't want to be here. And then I'd just build off of that. And I'd be like, okay, wait, I actually love cocoa head. Like, this is a time where I get to like see my strength, see who I am, like see mental challenges that I'm pushing through.
Endorphins flowing. That's one good thing about. That's one thing good about working out, guys. And me and Nita were talking about this morning is we don't realize how important we are in a lot of people's lives, is because no matter what, just the physiology of it is like after they work out, they're gonna be feeling good. You know what I mean? So that's why people love the gym. That's why people love the boxing gym, and that's why Cocoa Head was making you feel better.
No, 100%. Like, people don't understand. Like, once you push through that 30 days of creating the discipline of working out, it's so life-changing, because it's like, you guys look at my schedule and you're like, oh my God, that's miserable. I look at it and I'm like, today is going to be a character building day. Yeah. And I'm going to feel so good when I come home and I'm in pain. Like, I've turned to a point of like getting so comfortable with loving suffering. I'm like, okay, like, what's the next challenge? How can I push myself now? Like, what mental like barrier are we about to break? You know, that's what working out does for me.
But you said you weren't comfortable with your skin because you're a model. You're very beautiful. But what happened? I mean, were you still modeling during this low point?
Yeah, I was still modeling.
And may I ask how old you are?
I'm 20.
You're 20.
Yeah, I was about 19
when this
all went down. Or I guess you could say it's been a year. Yeah, but I was still modeling. Modeling's rough. Modeling isn't what people think it is. You know, you're constantly behind the camera, you're constantly looking at yourself, you're constantly picking yourself apart. Like, nobody sees that side of it. They think, oh, you're a model, you know you're pretty, and it's like, no, that's actually not it at all. Like, I feel like models are,
a lot of them are insecure, right?
Yeah, a lot of them. And no hate to models or anything, but it's a rough industry to get into. Like, constantly being like, oh, I don't like that about me, oh, I don't look good here, and just worrying about your looks. Like, I've even gotten have had moments where I've gotten caught up in it, and I'm like, okay, life doesn't revolve around how I look. Yeah, you know. And like, I think working out taught me that too. It's like, walk around looking like a mess. That's okay. Like, you're a human being.
Yeah,
like,
facts.
You know, like, don't get so caught up in how you look. And you know, like, modeling during that time was even harder because it was like, I don't like how I look. You know, so like, it breaks you, but you need breaking points in life to rebuild the foundation.
Yeah, I agree.
Did you ever get some photos back and be like, damn, I look good? Oh, you ever do that?
Of course.
Of course, right? So it's like, I think that's what keeps you, if you always felt like you look like shit, there's photos of all of us where we feel like we look like shit.
Not me.
Damn, Chris. Confident.
I look good all the time. My mom tells me every day, you're good looking. I know, Mom.
Thanks,
Thank
Mom.
you.
Appreciate that. But you know what I mean? It does. I think it's part of the cycle too. It's like a couple shitty ones, couple good ones, and you're just like, girls stay in it and they keep working.
Yeah, being you know, like even like sometimes like working with like certain people, like they don't know your angles and stuff, and like nobody understands like, oh, you're a model, like you take photos, that's your job, but it's like you don't see what goes into this.
Yeah.
Like we're constantly like sucking in the hot sun, like flexing every muscle you have, like constantly worrying about how you look and stuff, and it's mentally exhausted. But then it's like you work so hard, and then sometimes if you have like you're working with a person who doesn't know your angles and it's a bad angle, and then you get that photo back and you're like, damn. Like,
So it's the photographer.
Yeah.
Are you saying it's the photographer also stresses you out?
not always. Like sometimes,
You know, girls and their angles, man.
yeah,
All the
like
girls
I
and
think I'm just
Lighting.
picky. Like I'm a photographer,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I'm just picky. Like
Yeah.
I know angles, and I'm just like, that's
yeah.
not.
You
the
know
one.
what? You know what someone said once? I really believe it. Is everyone has an attractive angle.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like everyone has like a good angle. Where like, oh yeah, that guy's good looking or that girl's good looking. You know what I mean?
yeah, 100%. And I think that when you know that angle and you can work that angle, then your confidence shows through
And
that angle.
there's some artists, and what I mean by artists, photographers, videographers, that can find that really quickly. And there's some guys who don't, you know, they're thinking about something else or the composition or something different in the shot that they're not really focusing on making the model look the best with the lighting and everything. There's a lot that goes into photography, obviously.
Yeah, there's more.
Now, on the
but-
modeling side, and on because so I used to shoot like all the Bang Energy videos. I would for Hawaii. I was like the Bang Energy videographer.
No
and
way.
Yeah, this was
That's
a couple
mean.
years ago. But what I noticed is like the thing I just said. Everyone has their good angles, and you can. It's all about the editing too. You know, like you can cut out the fat and make them look good at certain angles, and it's just an interesting thing from the model standpoint. You know, working with models who know what they're doing, who are confident, is way easier than working a new model. You know what I mean? From the photographer standpoint, because they just go and you just got to capture. You know,
Yeah,
and
100%.
some models you have to direct more, and like you know what I mean. So it's a beast of an industry. So shout out to all the models out there. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's
dog?
not easy. Like I just got back from swim week, and wow, like what a time that was. Like that was probably one of the most stressful 5 days of my life.
Why?
Like,
Can you walk us through?
yeah,
Why?
so you have a bunch of young, beautiful women all in a room, you know, and like it's all high energy. And for me to be around a lot of energy is a lot because I'm not really like I don't like to be in big crowds. So I get like my social bar just drops fast. And like everyone was so sweet, like nothing to them, but like it was just really hard to like. So for 5 days, we all flew out to Big Island, like a bunch of the inner island girls, like a couple of girls from Cali, I think, flew in, and then we did like a little runway. It was so fun. Shout out to Hawaii Swim Show. That was an amazing time, but it was a lot. And we're like going like early call time, 6 fittings all day, practicing our walks. I was booked for 8 shows, which was like a lot in a 5 days span. So like we're doing our makeup, which takes about 2 hours, hair and makeup. I did my own stage makeup. So I'm like going from one runway, going back to my room, showering everything off, redoing that, trying to find time to like, oh shoot, I gotta still eat. Like I still gotta take care of myself. Like being like, okay, I have to go get food, then running from one place to another, then doing fittings, and then going back, like redoing all your hair, all your makeup, going on stage, having that like adrenaline rush where you're like, oh shoot, I'm about to be on stage. Like this is so sick, but like I'm so terrified. And then like being mentally exhausted. And then, you know, we're on our feet all day because we're like practicing our walk. We're all super nervous. We're like walking around doing like last minute things we need to get done. So at the end of the day, I was just like, oh my God.
Wow. Are they compensating pretty well for that, or how does that work as far as model payouts for an event like that, like Swim Week?
So that event was basically like for an exchange for like content and exposure and like getting connections and
Yeah,
stuff.
don't they always try to do that to you guys?
I mean, I think it was really beneficial.
Yeah.
Like I loved it, and I love like meeting all the girls. It was like a cool experience because like when you're in the modeling industry, especially Inner Island, it's so small. We all know each other. So we're
Yeah.
all like super close. So like having everyone together for like 5 days and like
Yeah.
all working together was like,
a
wait,
little
this
field
is,
trip.
this is so much fun. But it was
Yeah.
like everyone was so excited that we were like, our social bars just died by like the last day because
Yeah.
everyone was just like, how are you doing? Or like, how are you doing? Or, like,
Adrenaline dump, like oof.
yeah, but I don't know. It was incredible.
That's crazy. I remember. Okay, so I'm gonna put this out there, and because we keep it raw, I remember you came back from that trip, and you said like right away you wanted to just come back home and work out.
Yep. Yep.
Now, obviously, you had fun on the trip, and you saw your
Nice.
friends. But why was that? Why did you feel like that? Why did you feel like not attached to the model community, or like wanting to come back to your
Yeah.
basic routine and like training and stuff?
I worked so hard to get to where I am. I put time, tears, energy, insane days that were just miserable. I pushed through to get to where I am, this routine. I fell in love with this routine. This is how I identify who I am. This is how I stay on track with who I am. This is how I keep in touch with myself. So this is like a comfort zone for me. Like I have a hard time stepping out of my comfort zone. So my routine is my comfort zone. I know what I'm going to do next. I know what's going to happen throughout the day. Like probably not a good thing, but anyway.
Yeah.
So going on this trip, I was training 5 to 6 hours a day before I left. Like you guys know, you saw me in the gym. Like I was going at it, and then going to this trip of not being able to like work out, and like working out is how I keep my like inner peace. Like this is how I stay balanced.
Yeah.
So like not working out, feeling like edgy because I'm like, I don't want to fall off of this discipline, like all this discipline, like it can go away like that. Like if you don't keep up with your routine, like it can really, like it takes one day, then another day, and then I'll do it tomorrow. And it's like, I don't want that. Like I'm terrified of that.
You lose the momentum.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not working out. I'm going to fall off of boxing. I fell in love with boxing. Like I fell in love with boxing, and I was like, I'm going to get back and be horrible. I'm not going to be able to do what I was doing before I left. Cause I felt like I had so much like momentum. I was like picking up on like things that I wasn't getting when I first started. So I was like, I don't want to leave. Like I love this so much. I love like the gym feels like a home.
Yeah.
You know, like all you guys are like family. So walking in there, it's not just like walking into a gym. Like I'm walking in to hang out with these incredible people that I'm like calling my family now. So it's like also like I haven't seen you guys for like 5 days, and we're always like going at it together. So it was just like it was very hard. And like also going back to like the modeling side of me, who it's always been kind of an uncomfortable spot because it's like you're in the spotlight, you're constantly worried about how you look. Like I feel like when I'm in the gym, I'm showing more of like who I am instead of my looks. So like I was kind of like at a place of like, okay, like it's back to how you look. And then like I was like, okay, like I kind of miss like being home and looking like a mess in the gym and like pushing myself to the point of like it was kind of like that. Yeah.
Dude, so we've had a lot of models come to the gym, and we've had a lot of models that box, you know, but there's not too many people that have started sparring and really getting punched in the face and really punching guys in the face and getting punched by guys in the face. What is it? What, like, how does someone like you, how are you an outlier? A lot of girls come and train, right? But not too many of them want to get punched in the face and punch and like have that grit to them. How did you make that switch?
I got my ass beat in that gym. Can we talk about that? I got my ass. This weekend I couldn't move my neck. I was like,
like I mean, it's a serious sport, right? But so back to my point is like, I understand why a lot of these models and girls don't want to get involved. Like I totally understand. And we love that they just come and train. You know what I mean? We don't need everyone to be a banger in Kahala, but you are about that life. Talked about that. Like, how are you stepping into that?
Well, before you answer that, how long have you been boxing at Needle Boxing in
2 months.
2 months.
2 months. I'm already getting our ass beat.
Dang.
But if you really add up all of her classes, it's like probably 4 months of training because she comes to like
so consistent.
Yeah, and then she'll do like 4 to 5 classes in a day sometimes, you know, at least 3.
Well, because my mindset walking in was like, okay, these people are really good and this is a craft. Like you're walking into a sport that is well respected. If I want to earn respect, I need to catch up. I'm not going to catch up 1 hour a day.
Facts.
Like that's going to get me nowhere. I'm not going to be respected in this gym. And like, you know, walking into a new gym, like it's good to get people's respect. Like it's one thing for people to like you, but it's another for them to really respect you as a person.
Facts.
So I was like, you guys all take this sport really serious. I'm going to do my part and show you that I'm going to stick this out. You know?
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of go so.
but how did you make that switch from like what is it in you that's different than the rest of these girls that come train where you want to actually bang and fight and like actually like
spar and get like your pretty face hit.
And even another thing too is like usually you would want to have like a real rounded skill set before you step into sparring. Like honestly, for me personally, I trained for a year before I even like really sparred full speed. You're like 2 months and you're like getting
that's how you learn. Like you get like I got my like butt handed to me, but like I picked up on things quick. I'm better at blocking now. Like I may have hurt, but I'll figure it out. Like if I get a hook to the head, next time I'll learn to roll. Like it is what it is. Like you gotta throw yourself in there. To answer your question, I started sparring because I'm terrified of it. You saw it the other night. You were like, Nessa, what's going on with you? Like, why is tonight different? And it's because I was terrified.
Yeah.
So I sparred with one of our coaches, and I like had a moment at the gym because I'm not a violent person at all. Like, I'm terrified of fights. Like, I'm the person that if there's a fight, I'm going to be that girl who's like, guys, let's just talk it out. Like, as annoying as it is, I just have never believed in like fighting. Like, I just don't. And so growing up, I would always get like called out in school and stuff. Like, you know how high school goes, like, you know, people trying to like test the waters. And I was like such an easy target. And so I would get called out, or I would have people like, oh, I'm going to fight you. Like, when I see you, it's on sight. So it was literally like living in fear. Like, for me, it like was like, oh my God, I'm really terrified of this. Like, I'm so scared. Like, I would back down from anyone. I would kind of just like be like a little puppy and like tilt my head. And like, I had this moment of like, dude, I'm over this. Like, I'm like so tired of being this person that anyone can walk all over, whether that's like spiritually or physically. Like, so I feel like I worked so hard to create this person that I am now, that it's like, let's take it to the next level. Like, now let's really like, what else are we scared of?
Step into those fears.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, like boxing, like I like this. And I started going and I was like, oh my gosh, wait, I fell in love with it. And I was like, now I want to see how far I can take this. Now I'm going to take this to the max. Like the bar is up here. Like, now we're just going to go full force. And so I sparred my first, I would call Wednesday night, last Wednesday, my real spar night. Because
that was like your full speed spar, like going at it.
That's when I took some hits.
Oh yeah?
And that's when I learned the most about myself, because you guys saw, like, I was like in tears after I sparred one of the coaches. I was like, but it was a moment of, oh my gosh, wow, like, this is your hard work. Like, you worked so hard to put yourself in this position.
To even like, be confident enough to step in there.
And like, look at you. And like, you got your butt handed to you, but you stepped in and you did something that you were so terrified of doing. And then I loved that feeling. And then also learning like the mental challenge of like, I love knowing my weak spots. I love it. Like, I love anything that I suck at. I'm like, throw me in until I get good. So like fighting, I was like, oh my God, I'm really bad at this. This is really frustrating. You know, like one of the coaches, he's like saying stuff to get in my head because that's how fighting goes.
Who's
so
the
I'm
coach?
like,
Which coach was it?
Ben.
Coach Ben. Shout out to Coach
I sparred Coach Ben.
Ben.
But like, now it's like, he's like, we're like fighting. He's like, come on. Like, just like saying things to get in my head, because you have to. This is the sport. If you're going to get it, you got to weed out the weak ones. Like, if I'm going to take this serious, like, we got to see if I can actually handle it. So I just got so frustrated because I had so much adrenaline, because I've never sparred like that. I've never taken a hit like that. Like, I was taking hits. And so then it was like, after like taking those hits, I was like, oh my God, like, you are so sensitive.
Facts.
And then I was like,
the emotions come out when you're in a firefight. You know what I mean?
And then I was like, oh my God. Then afterwards I just like broke down crying, because like I didn't even know what I was feeling. And then my mom like walked over, because my mom was there. Shout out to my mom. And
shout out to
like,
Missy.
And she breaks it down for me, and she goes, you've never experienced anything violent before.
Tragic. It's trauma. It's like, it's a quick little trauma moment, controlled trauma.
You know
what I mean?
She was like, this is the place that you're supposed to do all of this at. With these people. And then I was like, and then after that night, I felt so proud of myself. I was like, I went home with the biggest smile. I was like driving home with the biggest smile. I was like, I just got my ass beat. I was like, and that felt good.
Dude, I remember the first time I drove down to Waipahu, and I made every excuse not to go to there. I woke up because they spar at 7 in the morning. I woke up at 6. Wow. I stayed up late because I was nervous, so I didn't get good sleep. I was up to like 1 a.m. I freaking woke up on time, and I was made every excuse not to go. I was like, just don't go. You didn't even get good sleep. But I drove my ass 40 minutes to Waipahu just to get my ass beat the first time. And fucking, dude, I remember it wasn't an ass beating, but it was a battle, right? It was a proper battle. I got hit, he got hit. But I remember the feeling of driving away too. I was so stoked. I called my brother. I called my best friends. I was like, dude, I was in it. You know what I mean? I was in the fucking firefight. It was banging. You know what I mean? I was like fucking so proud of it. And one more thing, like the other day we had, shout out to Miles Tennant. It's so much respect for him, but I let him get away with one thing. He talked about, he's like, boxing is cool as all, but jits. He was trying to say jits. But when you spar in jits, the consequences are nowhere near the sparring in boxing. The timing, the violence, the speed. The consequences in boxing and sparring is so much higher than jiu-jitsu. And I don't care. You can be a black belt. We'll argue this all day. Boxing is different. You're getting popped. You're getting hit. You're literally, sometimes when you get hit, everything goes out for a second and you're back. You know what I mean? That's what happens when it's called a flash. Boom. Everything's out. Consciousness is gone. Boom. Then you're back and then you're trying to figure out the situation. You're in pure survival mode. I don't think that happens. I've grappled a little bit. I'm not a black belt. Sorry, Miles. But it's not the same. Boxing, the consequences are so much higher at full speed sparring, you know what I mean, in boxing. So shout out to you for doing that. You know what I mean? It's fucking gangster shit.
I took my first body shot.
Oh, what did that feel like?
Oh my God. I have severe anxiety. I'm super hypersensitive. I go, we're done. The rib is broke. My rib, I remember I went like this. I was like, and then I looked at Mike and he was like looking at me and I was like,
I thought you were going to throw up for a second.
No, I was like, did I just break a rib? I was like, that was my first thought. I was like, oh, my rib's done. Great. Now I can't box. And then I was like, oh, that was a body shot. Oh, that's what that feels like. And then I was like, oh, I gotta get better at blocking. Like, but that's how you learn. Like, I threw myself in. I took that hit. Yeah, I was miserable, but I guarantee I'll protect my body now. Like now I know I don't want to feel that again. So I'm gonna do everything to like make sure my skills are at a level that I'm like blocking. Again, it's like throwing yourself into something to see what you suck at.
Right.
Wow.
That's how you better yourself.
And you have to suck. And even if you like it and you want to commit to it, it's like you're gonna suck at it for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like even our podcast, we're 7-8 episodes deep, but we every single time we're like, dude, we sucked here, we sucked here. We got to fix this, fix that. And that's how life is. You go through things and you make mistakes, but if you care, you'll fix them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you care, if you give a shit, you'll fix them. You know what I mean? Some guys don't, because some guys go through things and they make mistakes, but they just keep making the same mistakes. They don't develop. They don't get better. You know what I mean? But if you really care and if you really approach it with a real artist like approach and like a professional approach, like trying to get better and improve, you're going to. You know what I mean? Because you're going to make mistakes. You can address them. You can fix them, and you move on. You know what I mean?
100%. I realized like also learning like don't walk into a sport with an ego.
100%.
Don't
especially a combat
walk in
sport.
there. Like if you're a person who is not okay with failure, embarrassment,
Right.
putting yourself out there, don't even attempt, because when you walk into that gym, you are like a little like an ant, like a little ant. You know, you walk in, you know nothing, and that's okay. That's how you weed out the weak ones. Again, like this sport is insane. Like I have a lot of respect for anyone that has even like stepped into the ring or anything like that. But it's like you can't walk into the sport with an ego. Yeah. You know, you will get your ass handed to you.
Lose it. And the guys the guys and girls that do have ego, you know, we had a girl that had an ego when it came to sparring. But those people, they don't show up no more. They won't keep coming, you know, because their ego won't let them. Yeah. They'll be like, I didn't really lose that sparring session. It was this reason. They'll lie to themselves instead of really be like, you know what, I suck. I need to get better. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I feel like the biggest lesson I learned this year in life is to be honest with yourself. And to know that it's okay. Your imperfections are what makes you you. And that's so beautiful. That if you can embrace that and realize that every single person has that, you're going to go so far. Because it's like, instead of walking into the gym being like, I'm going to take her. I walked into that sparring ring and I was like, oh, he's going to beat my ass. But I'm going to learn a lot about myself during this process. And it's like, now it's like, okay, I'm going to keep getting my ass beat. And that one moment that I land that one good punch, it's going to feel so good because I know that shit was not handed to me.
Hell yeah.
And I worked so hard for it, you know?
I remember one time you had a roll under a hook, just the way we teach it. You rolled under a hook, bang, bang, came up with 2 counter shots.
I was like, you guys were like, oh my God.
I was like, that was so sick.
I was like, I did what? And then I watched the video. I was like, wow. Yeah, we're running that drill. Like,
dude, I remember one time Dale Soapy told me, he was like, dude, don't be scared to get your ass whooped. And that's so true in combat sports. You can't be scared to get your ass whooped because like you said, that's where the lessons happen. You know what I mean? And it's not for everybody. By the way, if you don't want to spar, you guys don't have to. It's not for everybody. It's only for
do it.
It's for the people who really want to push themselves, you know? And if you're young and healthy and able to, And if you want to step into that, try it. You know, I would say try it. Especially our gym is a perfect place to try it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With so much control, so much of a family vibe, and we always make good matchups. We never overmatch anybody. You know what I mean? So,
and everything's out of love in there. Like, even like being thrown into it, like from my perspective, like knowing that like I'm getting my ass beat, but knowing it's out of love.
right.
Knowing it's out of, I love you, but this is going to take you a step further.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially if you have ambitions to compete, you know, like if we take it soft on you, or we don't coach you correctly, if we don't discipline you, or like tell you, hey, keep your hands up, or the small stuff, if we don't teach you the right way, you know, we're contributing to your failure.
You're going to get hurt.
Yeah, we're contributing to your demise. So that we don't want that. We want to we want everyone in our gym to be successful. You know what I mean? So that's why it's like that.
I live by like the quote where it's like, pain is temporary, but your goals are long term. So like, no matter how much suffering, there's always a rainbow after the storm. Like the clouds always clear. But that moment of like not being able to go through the pain and sacrificing everything you've worked so hard for, you know, like all the time I've just put into it. And if I just walked away, like what could that have been? You know, like I never want to look back and be like, wow, like I could have went somewhere with that.
Yeah, facts.
You know, so you just got to push through that pain.
What are some other hobbies you have besides punching people in the face?
I love to read.
Wow.
I love reading. I love surfing. I love to longboard. I love to be outside. Anything outside in nature is my calling for sure. Yeah.
So talking about your mother coping or walking through that fight, or does she have experience in fighting, or does she box also?
Yeah. So Mama was an amateur fighter.
Cut in a picture right now. Cut in a pic. Cut in a pic.
Yeah. Can we please?
Yeah, we'll cut in some pics.
Yeah, my mom is such a badass. Like, I feel like your circle in life is so important. And that woman keeps it so real with me. Like, to the point where it's like, I didn't want to hear that. Like, what are you talking about? But yeah, so she used to do amateur fighters. So she's kind of like giving me pointers on the sidelines because she knows I'm a little on the softer side. Like, it's hard for me to be like, ooh, like tough, you know? So she's like going to tell me, like, she was like, go spar. Go. She was like, I'll watch. I'll tell you what you need to work on. She was like, go. You want to do this? And she was like, but the moment you don't want to do this, I love you and I'm here for you.
Wow.
But it was like the most precious thing in the world. But she's on the sidelines, like every sparring thing, momager. We call her momager at the gym. She's my little momager.
Yeah.
You know, she'll be like, all right, I approve of this, you know, but you need that person in your corner who's going to have your back no matter what and give you honesty out of love, you know? So she used to be a fighter. So she's just kind of been walking me through all of it and being like, you're nowhere where you need to be.
Yeah.
But like, we're going to get you there. And just like, kind of giving me like the insider on it and stuff.
Right.
And like,
I mean, but you're 2 months in.
2 months. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think you're ahead of your class for how long? For a 2 month class? You know
I
what I
hope
mean?
so. It's 3 hours a day.
She puts in her time.
Yeah, you put in the work.
I told you 3 hours in the morning, and then I see you come back in the evening. And banging
I just
it
don't
out.
have a life.
Yeah.
No, I
You gotta reach that.
disagree.
You gotta reach that 10,000 hour.
That
mark.
is life.
Yeah, you've heard that rule, right? Reach the 10,000 hour mark, and you become like kind of, you know what you're doing. Then you know what I mean. Once you put in 10,000 hours, once you put 10,000 hours into boxing, I promise you'll be comfortable.
Well,
You know what
I
I mean?
just feel like I've never been so passionate about something. Like, even though I'm not to where most of the people in the gym are, I am so in love with the sport. I think it is insane. Not the fact that you get to fight someone, like that's cool, whatever, like that's badass as well, stepping into the ring, but the mental challenge it is, and not even physical, like the mental.
Yeah.
Like fighters, they're strong, but like mentally, like to get to that mental level, like I feel like we're in a society now where it's the victim card. Like everyone wants it easy, everyone wants it sensitive, like can't say this, can't say that, can't do that, can't that. But like fighters are like, there's some tough people right there. Like you get in that ring, you get your ass beat, and you show up back at the gym the next week to start training again for your next fight.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Like it's insane.
Yeah.
Talking about that victim card, so you said when at your low point, you were in a relationship with a guy, right? Mm-hmm. How old was the guy and how long were you dating this guy?
We dated maybe 6 months.
6 months. And then how old is he? Was he? Is he?
Was
I
he?
don't want to.
Damn,
He was
RIP.
around my age. He was around my
okay,
age.
so he's about your age, right? What made that relationship so horrible?
I had no idea who I was. And I was so insecure. And I'm not going to like pin this on just one sided, like he was horrible or like, no,
we're not talking about the guy. I want to know about the relationship so that you can teach other people to understand what the red flags are or something like that. That's my question.
I think it's more of realizing that like you can also play a big part in your relationship not doing good. And I know that I was at a point where you can't love someone if you don't love yourself. You know?
I agree 100%.
And I feel like I've learned in life, my mama actually taught me this lesson. It was a really beautiful lesson. She sat me down one day and she goes, Nessa, there's 2 ways to love someone. And I go, what do you mean? You just love someone. She goes, no, you can love them for you or you can love that person. And I go, wow. And she goes, so you can love someone for what they do for you, for how they make you feel, for the comfort they give you, or you can just genuinely love that person for who they are. No expectations that you have of them, just who they are. And I go, oh my gosh, wow. Like
Epiphany.
Yeah, it was like such a simple thing goes such a long way. So I realized, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even love myself. Like how can I even love you if I don't even know who I am? You know, like who is Nessa? Like what does she love? Like what even does she love? You know? And then some other stuff went down, but yeah.
So identity, you're searching for an identity.
Yeah, I also got cheated on, so that played a big part.
Well, guys are stupid, you know.
Yeah, especially when we're
Young guys.
We're
It's okay.
we're pretty dumb when we're young. You know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
bro?
I agree. Look at me. I'm still an idiot. You know?
I mean, I personally think it was the best thing that ever happened to me because I would have never gotten real with myself and I would have kept being a victim. I would have been like, why me? Poor me, poor me. And it was like, clearly that's not working.
Yeah.
So let's try a different route, you
Yeah.
know? So it was truly like, and I feel like you can ask anyone who's ever gotten like, has ever gone through anything like this, that it's truly the best thing that ever happens because in your darkest moments are your most beautiful moments. Like that's how you find
So
yourself.
you level up.
Yeah.
You know, breakups always suck. Even if you wanted to break up with someone, it always sucks. You
It
know, it
does.
always sucks. Even if it was a bad cheating, this or that, it's always shitty. But it's temporary. You know,
Yeah.
and eventually you get past it.
You get stronger.
It takes maybe a year, sometimes 2 years, whatever. Everyone's different. Sometimes 2 days. Some people. But you grow from it and you move on and you develop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like every relationship is an opportunity to grow.
Oh, 100%. It's either love or it's a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I agree
Yeah.
100% on that too.
Yeah, and even if it's pure love, within love you grow. You know what I mean? Within a great relationship, you grow a lot. Hopefully, I mean that's ideal. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. And I feel like I was so young at that point mentally, like even though it was just like a year ago, but I was so young and immature that I didn't even know how to love someone properly. You know, I was insecure. I was dealing with my own things. Like I had like toxic things that I was doing. So I was just like, you need that moment of being okay alone. Like if you're not okay alone and you can't be alone,
Yeah.
don't get in a relationship.
Yeah.
You will ruin someone or yourself.
yeah,
You know, like you
100%.
got to figure out who you are. You have to sit with those moments that are just so uncomfortable and you want to go distract yourself because if you do not sit with them, they will catch up with you.
yeah.
I'm a big believer in that. Like sit with it, get uncomfortable, like want to like scream, do whatever you got to
Yeah.
do, but sit with it.
Sit and feel it. You know what
Sit, feel it, let it flow.
I mean? Yeah.
Just let it go after. That's my life advice.
Yeah, man. All at age 20.
At age 20.
yeah, at all age
This is why
20.
me and Chris say like girls are like 8 years more mature than guys. Like you're literally 28 right now. I don't know if you know that, but you're 28 years old.
I just feel like this year has been the most insane lessons I've learned, but I'm so happy that I'm learning at a young age because I'm like taking this time to like really figure out who I am. Because my mom was like, dude, don't waste your 20s.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
like people,
A lot of people do.
Relationships will always be there. Like, figure out who you are. Like, don't
Yeah.
get caught up wasting your 20s. She was like, she told me,
Yeah.
she was like, I had so much like before me. I wish I would have took every opportunity, you know? And so like also learning from someone that you trust so much and like really taking in what they have to say and knowing it's out of love. It's like, okay, like maybe they have a point. Like I should get focused. Like I should
Yeah.
grind. Like got nothing else to do.
Yeah. Taking opportunities is a big thing. Like if you no opportunity goes if you don't take it, someone else will. Is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? There's never a missed opportunity. Someone else picks it up.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So take those opportunities. If you get the chance to fly out to Big Island for a swimsuit shoot and you don't even want to do it, send it.
Oh my gosh, the first night I got into it was crazy. It was like, I started crying. I was like, I want to go home. Like, I have a really hard time. No one knows this, but I have a hard time of getting out of my comfort zone. That was so out of my comfort zone. Boxing was out of my comfort zone. Like, I fell in love with it. But like, just take risks. Go be uncomfortable.
Oh, I thought of one question real quick.
Yeah.
I wanted to know this because I actually never knew the answer. So your mom was coming to the gym first. How did you get roped into coming? I remember when you first came and stuff, but because your mom came maybe 4 or 5 times before you. Was she like, how did that work? Like, did she ask you to come or?
Yeah, she was like, she didn't think I was gonna, because I've always been like the girly girl of the family, you know? She was like, she never like, she told me, she came back from the gym. She's like, I found this really cool boxing gym. And I go, oh. And she's like, come with me. And I'm so stubborn. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Oh, you said no.
Yeah, okay. I was like, nope. Why would I box? Boxing's not for me. Why would I box?
Now look at you.
And then
Sparring.
I remember my first class, I came in with no shoes on. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I asked you, I was like, do I need shoes?
I was like, it would help, but send it.
Yeah, that's literally word for word. And then I fell in love with it. I was like, so try new things. Like,
now she has boxing boots, ladies and gentlemen. She has boxing boots.
Yeah, we moved to the boots. It got real.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but
let's stop talking about boxing for a little bit. I mean, we can, but
no, pick
I think
my brain apart, please.
Yeah, I think we should dive. Chris, I know you got something. I'm seeing the gears from the side profile. I see gears turning right now, and I'm going to take a quick bathroom break while let's go.
All right, I got a question. Well,
Oh, did you hear that? That was scary.
Did you just burp?
I was like, let's hear it. Like in a really scary way.
So going back to the modeling thing, I'm always curious, the payout. How do you get paid through modeling? Is it gigs? Do you have a manager? How do you get to a shoot? You know, is it something that you come up with, or somebody comes and asks you, that kind of thing? You know, if somebody wanted to go into a career in modeling, right?
Yeah, connections are everything. Like, I would say for the modeling industry is also reputation. So
what do you mean by reputation?
Reputation in the sense of, how do you carry yourself? Do you show up on time? What clothes are you wearing? How do you act in public? How do you act at business events? How are you acting at like networking events? Like, I have gotten most of my work through connections, and I realized that it is so important how you show yourself and how you represent yourself, because you are your brand. So I would say, number one, that if you're getting into like the industry, like, always dress professional on like events, like always be your best self, like your work self, like put your work face on, always dress, come early, like punctuality is everything, like be punctual, like always be punctual, like that is the biggest thing. And also like connections, like you never know who knows who, what, like just be a genuine human being and like go out and like meet people, talk, and,
network.
Yeah, network.
Who taught you to be punctual? Because that's like something a lot of people struggle with, and a lot of people don't really. I mean, in Hawaii, it's all about Hawaii time. It's normal to be late. Everyone shows up to my classes 25 minutes late. But you know what I mean? Like, who taught you to be punctual? That is, like you said, you mentioned it earlier in the pod. I feel like it is very important. But who taught you that?
I would say just like having this vision of my higher self. And like this comes with discipline. Like discipline is like your schedule, like your routine. Like I'm disciplined because of my routine. My schedule is hour to hour. So to meet all my requirements I need to meet for the day, I need to be punctual. Wow. So I feel like that just comes with the characteristic of like, or like the personality of like being disciplined. Like I'm disciplined. So I know like, and also I learned people's time is the most valuable thing on this earth.
Yes.
If someone gives you their time, respect it.
Exactly.
Respect them.
Especially a successful person.
Yeah.
Right?
And like also like that comes with networking as well. It's like working with these big people. It's like if someone gives you their time, you never get time back.
Yeah.
respect it and do what you need to do. Like do your part, you know? So
Because
I learned
first
that.
impression is everything.
Everything.
Because once you break that trust, it ain't coming back.
Yeah. No
And the
one-
big one too is if I always tell the young boys this is if you say you're gonna do them, do them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, if you're gonna say you're gonna do something, and me and Chris, we said, hey, we're gonna drop it on the first episode on the 10th, or what was it? I forgot the date.
No, dude,
And we freaking did everything we could we stayed up till 4 a.m. to make sure we fucking
Yeah.
stuck to our word. You know what I mean? That's how important it was too. We could have easily just been like, you know what? Let's release it tomorrow. Let's not go the extra mile, but we said we're gonna do them.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's discipline.
So we try to stick to our word. If we
yeah,
say we're
because
gonna do
I
it.
feel like my word is gold. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike feels like his word is gold. So
Yeah.
there's a mutual respect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
know?
and like also too, it's like you guys must get it. Like you have to respect each other's time.
Right.
100.
If one person is doing their part, do your part. Be on time. Like time is so important. You never
I
get
agree.
time
I
back.
agree.
And why waste time?
Right.
Imagine I deleted TikTok. This is a big one I want to talk about.
Okay.
TikTok. We scroll on there for hours. If you look
Really?
at your screen time, like everyone go look at your screen time.
Mm-hmm.
That is time that you will never get back.
Yeah.
Never.
And what did you get from it? Sometimes
8-hour
something.
training days.
Entertainment.
No, what I'm saying
Oh,
is,
like
what I'm
TikTok?
saying
Or
is like
like-
when you waste your time on social media or looking at other people's lives. You know what's funny? You mentioned TikTok too because I feel like us older heads we're still on Instagram. Like I have TikTok, but I never really fuck with it. I feel like if you're in your 30s, you're an Instagram person. If you're below 30s, you're like a TikToker.
Yeah.
Am I right on that?
I mean,
Yeah, I'm right. Yeah, but I feel like that's how it is. Are
TikTok
you
is
are you more Instagram or TikTok?
She's
I have
Gen
to-
Z, right?
I have to do Instagram
Yeah.
for my work
Oh.
because
Uh-huh.
everything is based off of Instagram,
Yeah.
like everything. But I try to be very disciplined about not being on my phone
Yeah,
and like scrolling when I shouldn't be. So
aimlessly scrolling.
yeah, like obviously I'm still young, so I'm gonna get caught up in it. But
Yeah.
like I always try to have those moments of like, okay, instead of this, go pick up a book.
Yeah. Well, I will say even us old heads get caught up in it. You
I
know
mean,
what I
yeah,
mean?
we're still human beings.
Yeah.
Like we can't be
And
perfect.
the thing from birth, from inception, was designed to be addicting. Yeah, I mean, like
Yeah.
social media was designed to keep us coming back.
Exactly.
That's the way ad revenue works, right? When companies say, "Hey, put your advertisement on my platform," the biggest thing is they say, "This is how much traffic I get to my platform. This is how much views you potentially will have." And even if 1% of those people click the ad, and then 0.5% of that buy them, you're still, you know what I mean? So it's all like
Yeah.
traffic and numbers based.
It's so crazy how like society is like controlled by media, you know, and like learning that like even ourselves, like we always present our best self on social media.
Yeah.
Like no one talks about if they're having a hard time.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm sure some people do, but you get the idea.
There's no models out there posting like, "Oh, I feel like shit. I
Like, you
hate the
don't-
way I look."
Yeah. Like no one's going to be like, dude, like it's just like, no. And like, that's not like, we shouldn't be,
Yeah.
because that can really like mess with someone. Like, other people as well who are going through a hard time and being like, oh, why am I not as happy as these people? And then it's like, why is working out not as easy as it is for me for them?
So you're
like, or for
comparing.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of comparing. And then what comes from that is like insecurity. And also like the time wasted on social media looking at someone else's life. It's like, for what?
Yeah.
You just wasted an hour that you'll never get back.
Yep.
That you could have went on YouTube, watched a podcast, learned something, maybe learn like cooking or something, or
Yeah.
like a hobby or like something, or put that energy into like making a vision board or something. Do something productive.
Yeah.
Don't just scroll on Instagram.
It's this fantasy. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they think it.
The chemicals that get released when you see that picture.
Dopamine.
Yeah.
But you know,
dopamine.
but you know, honestly, like we as human beings, we like to know everything. And one thing that I remember, I thought about this one time is like back in the day, you used to sit in your before pre-social media, right? We used to sit in our rooms in the four walls, and we didn't know what our friends were doing. We didn't know what
yeah.
we didn't know like what was happening, what events were going on. We didn't know what we were missing or what. But it caused us to go out and do stuff, and like, but now we can sit back and we can be in our home by ourselves, and we see, oh, we missed that concert, oh, we missed that event, oh, we missed that this and that, and it's just like, it's a weird thing, you know what I mean? It's like our consciousness was like we're stuck to like our little area and what we are, and now we're like, boom, like we can get like a little bit of tidbit, and it's just what people are sharing, right? But we got like a bigger grasp of what's happening on the island or on, you know, in your city and stuff
Yeah.
like that. You know what I mean? Because
Also going to,
we're
like,
watching all this stuff.
events.
Yeah.
Like I know like now I don't go out really. Like maybe I'll like occasionally go out, but like I'm not a night person. But when I was going out for like a couple of times or whatever, nothing is ever as it seems. So like you go out, everyone's got their phone out. Let's take a video. Like, let's look like we're having the time of our lives. And then the phones go down. And it's just awkward. And everyone's just like standing there. I can't tell you how many times I've been out and people were like, let's take a picture. Let's take a picture. And then the phones go down. They're like, okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And they're on to the next. And I'm just
So
like,
it's a mirage.
Yes.
It's an
It's all
illusion.
I need my 2,000
Fake.
people to know that I'm having fun.
yeah, like,
You know what I mean?
I gotta show
Attention. They
this-
just want the attention.
Well, it's not even that, but it's like if you're doing it to make someone else jealous, like let's say you're going through a breakup and you're going out to pretting that you're having fun or whatever, and like, oh, I'm gonna like get them mad. It's like, why are you putting that energy out? Why are you letting these people live in your head rent
Well, how do you
free?
know they're going to get jealous?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, why put all that energy into making it like you're living this life? Go live it.
Yeah, because if you have to do that, you're really not really being fully in the moment and happy.
No.
You know what I mean? Like if
Yeah.
you're thinking about, oh, I gotta post this to make this person jaded, you know, you're not really in the moment.
Yeah, but how do you know it will make them jaded?
But that's what I'm saying. Even whether it does or doesn't, you're still not in the moment because you're worrying about some
Yeah,
other
you're
shit
still
instead of the
putting that-
moment. You know
you're
what I
still
mean?
putting that in your mind.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they're gonna like, even if they're watching or not, it's like, why are you even going out of your way?
Because it makes you feel
You know
better.
one thing I do.
Insecurity.
One thing I do,
Yeah.
and I gotta admit this, and I think a lot of people do this, is I go and see who watches my stories.
Oh, I always do that. I catch so many people lurking.
But why do we do that? Why do we do that? That's so
It's
like
our
who
ego.
cares?
It's our ego.
Huh?
It's our ego.
Yeah.
You know, it feels good. Oh, but it's like at the end of the day, like, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Same thing with this pod. Like me and Chris, we agreed. We're like, dude, we don't give a shit who watches it.
Yeah.
We just want to talk to people we like to talk to.
Yeah. That's
And-
amazing though. Like,
and
that's
if it
how it's gonna
grows, it
turn out
grows.
the
Like,
best.
yeah, for
Like,
sure.
I
Because
feel
we're having
like
fun.
It's genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need more genuine things,
Yeah.
people, events, everything.
I think podcasting is it's hard. I feel like it's kind of hard to be fake on a podcast. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
think the format's too long. There's very little editing, if any. That's why I gravitated to podcasts years ago when I used to like fly a lot, and I would listen to, I think Joe was one of the first guys I was listening to a lot, Rogan, like 2007 or something like that. I was like
wow.
all about it, you know what I mean? Just listening to podcasts because we'd be on like some of our flight profiles.
2007?
Maybe like 8, 9, 10, somewhere around there. It was a while ago. I'm 35, dude. But my point is like we had so much downtime. Like you said, learn something. Like keep growing, learn from people. And his podcast is so cool because he has scientists and biologists and astrologists and whatever the hell. He has all kinds of people on there. So the array of information you're getting access to is just so much from his channel alone. You know what I mean?
It's such a beautiful thing if you use it in the right way.
Yeah.
And also, like,
You can waste time listening to podcasts too, by the way.
Yes, you
Live
can.
your life
Yeah,
at the end of the day. Live your life.
Anything you can waste your life.
But like, also, like, when you start, like I was like, okay, I don't have time to like read as much, and I love reading. Like, reading is something I truly love. But I'm like, okay, when I'm getting ready, like, I can watch a podcast and learn something. And I think that like the coolest thing about this, like the human experience, is like learning other people's minds.
Yeah.
And like learning like new ways to like think about things, or like like getting a different perspective on something. Like, I think that is like one of the most fascinating things about like mankind, is like learning how other people think, like, because that can like I know when I first started like getting into like spiritual awakenings and stuff, and like learning who I am, like podcasts were like my go-to, like Jay Shetty, or who's another good one? I can't think of any right now.
Yeah.
But like, just like the list goes on and on, like going to all these people and all these doctors and like hearing how they have to view things. And it's like I would have never understood the beauty in suffering if I wasn't taught that by someone else going through it.
Right. I love hearing different, like, I remember one thing about me when I was growing up, my dad would always have his friends over to the house, and their friends had kids too that were like my age. And the kids would like love to go outside and play and do the stuff. But I would love to just sit around my dad and listen to the conversations he was having with his friends, because it was just so outside of the stuff I would know and talk about. And I was just like, I was that one boy that was just sitting there and just like soaking that all in. And I've always been curious like that, to learn from new people and
That's
stuff.
amazing.
What about you too? You also?
Yeah, I'm very stubborn though. So I'm trying to get better at being stubborn.
What do you mean by that?
I'm very like, I don't want to know that. Like, don't tell me that. Like, I don't. I want to learn that. I'm gonna jump full in, or it's like, no, I'm either
you
all
dismiss
in or all
stuff.
out.
I
was like, but like, I'm trying to get better at that. So I've been trying to like. That's also part of like discipline, but like more on like like working on my personality wise. It's like learning to not be stubborn. So it's like watching all these podcasts and being like, okay, like what do you have to say? Like, let's hear. Like maybe I can really learn something.
Yeah.
But yeah, what about you?
Since you like to read so much, what are your favorite books?
Oh my gosh. Whew. Okay, The Untethered Soul, The Four Agreements, like 2 of like
Four Agreements? Is
I like
the one?
that, yeah.
48 Laws of Power. I mean,
It's a good one.
beautiful book.
These are all
But
household names, staples in the book industry.
Untethered Soul
I never heard of that one actually.
was the most insane book I've ever read. Like,
How so?
this was when I was going through all that stuff and I had no guidance. And so understanding that sometimes as humans, we get so caught up in just like life and moving fast that when you just take a seat and sit in self and just are aligned, you realize you don't have to carry the weight of everything and you can just be. Like the art of just being, like nothing more, nothing less, like just like literally being is so beautiful because we put so much pressure on ourselves and like understanding that like sometimes you don't have to do that and you can just be, like just literally live and that's okay. Also, there is like this chapter in the book and it's the death chapter.
Death?
The death chapter. It was the most beautiful chapter because it said it's not death we should fear, but it's wasting every day until that point.
Not living.
And it was like, oh my God, like, wow. Yeah, I love that book. I really recommend that book if you're like into like going through your like spiritual awakening or spiritual growth, anything in that area. I really recommend
Unfeathered Souls.
Untethered Soul. Oh, never mind. Scratch that. Edit that out.
Who was it by? Who was it by? Who wrote it? Do you remember?
No, I don't.
We can always
I don't know the
Google it.
author.
Yeah, we'll put a little image in the thing.
Yeah, can you?
But yeah, I love reading. But I used to read books a lot.
Reading?
Dude, honestly, I haven't read in a while. So the last book I read was Jocko's book, and it was called Extreme Ownership. But before that, but since then, I listen to audiobooks. I like audiobooks. They're more digestible for me. Like I like to, when I'm moving around, I'll listen to them. I haven't had a paperback in a while. Do you go paperback?
Yeah, that was like another discipline thing. Is like taking time to be away from my phone.
Yeah.
And like read because I'm not good with like my words and stuff. Like, and that was like something I really wanted to educate myself on this year. Is like more knowledge, number one, and also like vocabulary. Like, yeah. So
reading will definitely spike up your book because every book you read, you hit a word and you're like, ugh.
I know. I'm like, I don't know this. Google, help me. Siri, what is this? What does this mean? What about you? Do you read?
Do I read? No.
Oh,
I suck at
audiobooks.
I mean, audiobooks, but I'm not a big fan of reading. Just because growing up, everything was school for my parents. Grades was everything. What they cared about, that's all they cared about. So I was almost forced to read, and it was textbooks and things like that. But I didn't really get to enjoy reading. It was always studying. Yeah, because just becoming
that's a good point
from an Asian family, and they don't speak English. So they didn't help me. It's like, go ask your teacher kind of thing. Yeah. So and then speaking Korean to my parents, my reading comprehension wasn't the best.
Two languages. So honestly, I wasn't a big fan of reading. I was forced to read. Do I know how to read? Yeah, I know how to read. Yeah. But do I enjoy reading? No. Yeah. But although one of my favorite books that I started reading because of my shrink, Why Women Have Sex. Whoa, what's that about?
Let's hear it. Why?
What is that about?
So it's more of a psychological book. Okay,
what'd you learn? Give us some nuggets, dude.
Because
why do women have sex?
Give me the.
Because I was obsessed. I was obsessed with women to the point where how can women control me? How can women make me do
They
things?
they told you our secrets.
The insider
did.
knowledge.
They did. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, behind every trade deal is the insider knowledge.
But you have to go through experience. Okay, I didn't read it when I was in high school or college. I read it when I was in my 40s.
Yeah.
So I went through life. I see a therapist and I can compare, right? And then obviously, I've dated a lot. So once again, my thing was finding out how do women are able to manipulate or control or make the opposite sex do
what they
What a
want.
book.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Dude, I read a book late in my 30s, or like I'm only 35, but I read a book early in my 30s, but it was something not the same title, but it made me understand more of the psychology. It helped me understand more of the psychology of women.
What do you guys want to know? I'll give you the insider.
Oh,
But you're 20 years old. Come on,
You're only
man.
20.
Oh, you talking to some big OGs over here. Come on, man.
Yeah.
We're not that difficult. I have a really good question for you guys when we start.
Oh shit.
Oh, when we start, bring it.
Yeah, we're not shy. We can answer anything.
Dude, this is mean.
Do you like the pod setup?
Yeah, this is actually really
It's
mean.
fun, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it
This is
fun to
actually
pod?
sick. No, it is sick, actually.
Do you want to start one? We can consult. No, we can help you.
Actually?
Start.
No, I feel like in like a year I'll definitely have one.
Yeah, you
It's
should.
so fun.
It's so fun.
It's so fun.
So fun. I love it. I love
You
just
make it fun.
I love just talking to like cool people and learning shit and just I don't know. I feel like it's different than everything else I've done. Like I've done a lot of creative shit, but I feel like podcasting is just
Wait, you
like.
work with Bang?
Did I? What you say? I used to be. I'm actually a really good videographer. Like a lot,
Really?
yeah, I used to work for like JN Chevy, like big time people. But I fell in love with boxing. So like for me, like honestly, I say that like I'm so talented. I could just go in any direction. But if I go all in. You know what I mean? I could take it far.
Wait.
The marketing thing and videography, like I loved it, but I liked it. I didn't love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to really go all in. I had so many big clients. I had like JN Chevy, fucking Dada Salon. I had freaking, oh man, I had a pretty good gambit of people. And I just, at that same time when I started that company, I fell in love with boxing. And it was just like all my time was just
fighting or coaching.
no, just training. I was just training. I wasn't even a coach or nothing.
Did you ever like fight? Like,
No, I've only done the smokers. Yeah,
You've done a smoker?
Yeah.
how'd that go?
It was great. Yeah, it went good.
What was your experience like that?
It was, dude. I straight up fought a Waianae boy, like
Whoa.
like Ace's fucking, like a leader of Ace's gang, like the pack, and I fucking The cool thing about it is I got like when I see those guys, like those boys out in town, like salute, respect. So it was good.
Respect is earned.
Yeah,
Those smokers are nuts.
yeah.
They're kind of sick though.
No, they're so sick. But I think if you do the smoker, it makes I feel like it makes USA boxing easy. It has to. You know what I mean? The smoker is so much more intense. It's
I'm like terrified. I'm
dude,
already
the
jumping in
smoker is
bed
like
now.
the honestly the smoker reminds me of like a scene of a movie. You know, it's
Yeah,
like
I
just
saw the
fucking
video of
gnarly.
it.
It's like there's uncles on the side gambling. There's no medic. It's just like whatever happens. If you get hurt, like we'll figure it out after. You know what I mean? It's like
Oh, I love that.
a USA boxing fight. There's a doctor there. You know what I mean? There's like a fucking staff and there's trained professionals and like the smoker is just the wild west.
No,
you
I
know?
definitely
It's
want to do it.
literally people just show up for bang. You know what I mean? They have
Yeah.
they never even get associated with none of the gyms. They just want to come bang.
Oh, so it's like anyone can.
Not really. It's like you have to know one of us or like know part of the
okay.
family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Need to somehow be associated with one of the gyms. But yeah, there's guys that don't even associate with the gyms that come and do them. So, but yeah, you ever think about doing one? Would
Yeah,
you
I
do
want
a
to
smoke?
fight.
Really?
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, like I'm going all in to like train to like fight for sure.
Really? So the
Wow.
other
That's why I'm putting all this in.
damn.
So I want to start cutting now so that I can start practicing in the weight class and
Yeah.
getting like perfecting everything.
Yeah. I'll tell you this: as long as you're within 10 pounds of the class you want to fight, you're fine. Don't do any more than that.
Yeah.
Get within 15.
No, I'm gonna be
even if you get in within 15 pounds, you're fine.
Yeah.
Because with the amateur fights, they allow the guys to miss weight by like 10 pounds.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do amateur fighting.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Get a couple amateur fights and then
Yeah,
do a
far we
smoke.
can take it.
I would say do a smoker first.
Yeah.
Do the
Oh
smoker.
yeah.
And that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
You know, do the smoker. Great
I want to see how
experience.
far. I mean, I have the discipline, so why wouldn't I just go to the extreme?
You
And
want to do both, like modeling and
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Wow.
And I feel like
it
now,
all.
I feel like nowadays, if any days were possible to do both,
Now.
now.
Now's the time.
And there's girls that are both. There's girls like this girl, Paige Van Zandt. She's a model.
Yeah.
You know, granted, it's an OnlyFans model, but she's still a model. And
She got money. Good for her.
and she's a full-time fighter.
Dude,
you
that's
know?
like sick.
Yeah.
Like model and fight.
Even a girl locally, the girl Rachel Ostovich.
I don't know who that is.
She's a model too. I know for sure she was a model, but she was a UFC fighter for a while and stuff. So.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, you
Yeah.
can do it all. If you have the discipline.
And you can also
drive.
model in the industry
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Honestly,
local brands.
I feel like as long as you follow what you love,
Oh yeah.
and you
Everything will come.
Everything will come.
everything
yes.
will come, and you'll be able to do. And the thing about doing what you love, yeah, you may not be making the most money right away. You probably almost never are when you're doing what you really love, but you'll always be stoked. And when you're really doing what you love, you can give your best, and then when you give your best, opportunities will come.
They do.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Like the universe just like aligns it. Perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's better than forcing yourself to be like a nurse or something. You don't even
Also,
want
like,
to do
money
that.
Or in a
isn't
dental
everything,
field.
and I feel like if your attention is on money, then
Yeah.
it goes further away from you because you feel like it's not in reach of you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like having that idea of like, oh, I want. Then it's no longer in like you don't have it. So the universe is gonna align the energy of you not having it. And you're gonna keep chasing and chasing instead of just being happy.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather be happy and poor.
Oh,
Truly.
Dude, you just made me think. I feel like one of the biggest parts about manifesting is like not only just visualizing and basically dreaming of it or daydreaming, but I think you have to speak it. Like you have to
Yeah.
say, "I want to be a boxer," and
I am.
then I feel like you have to live it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you believe it. And then once you do those three things, you speak it, you believe it in your heart, and you act like it's already done. It's gonna happen. You know
Isn't
what I mean?
manifesting so crazy?
It's so crazy.
It is such a crazy concept.
And it's so cool when you hear the most successful people talk about how they manifested all of that.
Dude,
You know
so
what I mean? It's like, oh shit, it works. And,
Yeah.
they're like, I've seen so many interviews where they're like, Dana White was doing it recently. He was like trying to break it down. He's like, dude, manifesting works. Like I
Yes.
fucking manifested all this. Like it's not by accident. I thought about this and I worked towards it and I planned it. And you know,
Asa Stevens too.
yeah, Asa.
dude, it's
manifest stuff.
crazy. I made a vision board this year. Everything on the vision board came true.
Wow.
Everything.
And it's
I
almost
was
like if you don't do it, will it come true? You know, it's like you need to do it.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, this is insane. Like I looked at the board and I put this board out like on the back of, I printed a bunch of pictures and it was like at the new year. And this is when I was like going through all this stuff. So I was like, okay, I got to change things around. I need a vision board. I printed all these pictures of everything and like down to like a stack of like hundreds. And then like I went on this modeling shoot one time and the lady just hands me hundreds. And I was like, oh my. And I went home and I like looked and I was like, and then literally on the back, I wrote everything as it is. Like I was like, I want, I will, I am. I wrote it in those sentences. So like
Yeah.
nothing could get messed up.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
everything came true. It was like,
Yes.
it was over what, like 25, 30 photos? Everything. I was like, oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, it was insane.
Time for a new vision board.
That deserves a bam bam bam.
Yeah, we'll do that. vision board. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, dude. vision-
I've never done a vision board, but I remember one time I had a roommate that was like, dude, you want to do a vision board? And I thought about, oh, dude, that sounds so cool. And then they started like pulling out all the magazines and the scissors and the crafts and stuff. I was like,
Maybe not.
I'm out.
Dude, vision boards are nuts. Because if it makes sense though, like if you have to stare at something, like I put it to where I see it every day in my room and it literally says get uncomfortable on it. Before I even started this routine, by the way, mind you,
Yeah.
it was literally like get uncomfortable. And then I made that this whole year. And then like having to stare at these photos every day and seeing your goals in front of you, it's like your subconscious is gonna pick up on that and be
Yeah.
like, okay, like let's align this, you know?
What else still makes you uncomfortable?
Being uncomfortable. I'm still working on that. Like being
No, I mean specific. Like, is there specific things that you do that you're uncomfortable with, or maybe that
Yeah, social
options that you
events.
have that you stay away from?
like social
I don't
events.
understand.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that-
I have really bad social anxiety. Like I get really awkward and tense. Like I feel like I come off very rude at social events because I'm just like very like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like it's really hard for me
Do
because
you turn down social events a lot lately?
I stay to myself a lot.
Yeah.
Like big groups of people or like a lot of friends. Like I tend to have my circle is very small. Like it's hard for me to even like go out and just like branch off to like new people sometimes because I'm like, I'm just like, it's uncomfortable. So I'm like,
Were you like that? Was it like a recent thing, or you've been like that pretty much your whole life?
I think I've just learned. I think it's more of a recent thing. I feel like when I was a lot younger, like high school, I would like try and be around people, big groups, like, oh, I want to be like fitting in basically. Like, and then I realized, oh, I really don't like this. I don't like these people. I don't want this energy around me. So it made me very like, I just want to be to myself. And then it's also like anxiety plays a big part. So like going to like modeling events and stuff, I'm like so in my head.
See,
Like,
that's the
so
thing I
hard.
want to know. My question is, please explain it to me. Because you're a model,
Yeah.
right? You're in front of everybody. You know, you're
In a bikini.
Yeah,
That's the weird part. Like
So-
if I had to stand in front of 600 people in my underwear, I'd be like, ugh.
but I mean, you must be confident and secure about your body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's where I don't understand. How can you have social anxiety when you're in a profession where it's all about being social?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all about being.
And before you answer that question, at what age did you even start modeling?
yeah.
I've been modeling for 3 years now, 4 years.
3
It
years.
started
17?
doing really good 2 years ago when I was around 18. It started really like I started making a lot of connections because it takes a while to get into like anything in life. Like you have to put time and energy for it to like, because as fast as it comes is as fast as it'll leave. And I live by that. But anyway, yeah, so that's the reason I love it so much though, is like I told you, like I love throwing myself into uncomfortable situations. So I love to be at events and being like, okay, I have to go talk to this person, giving myself that pep talk, being like, okay, go up to them. Like, they're not going to hate you. Like, because, like I have such intrusive thoughts that it's like, oh my God, they hate you. Leave, leave, run. Everyone hates you. And I'm like, why? So it's like being like, okay, be realistic. You're at an event, go work, go talk, go network, do what you got to do.
These people don't hate you.
These people don't hate you. And that's just like training your brain to like literally get uncomfortable and stuff. So just like, I know it's such an interesting career I've chose for the circumstances, but yeah, I feel like I love it so much because I have to throw myself into it because I know it's something I need to work on. So I'm like, okay, like this is really good for me. Like in a sense, like even though it's really uncomfortable, like this is really good.
Interesting.
What
It's hard,
What
though.
advice would you give aspiring models who want to get in the industry?
Realize that nothing's ever what it seems. Make sure that you're fully in love with it, and know that you're enough. Like, don't compare. Like, I know everyone says this, like, but like, truly don't compare yourself to anyone because that is going to lead to disaster. Because when you start comparing yourself and you start being like, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that, or I have too much of this, that is when you will fail.
Yeah.
So like, and also stay grounded because I've had moments where I've gotten too caught up in social media and been like, oh, like had a little ego from it. And then like, I needed that reminder of like, wait,
Yeah.
you're not better than anyone. No one's better than you. Be a human being.
Yeah.
Like we all need those reminders from time to time, So just always stay really grounded and making sure that you're coming back to like who you are without your looks.
Yeah.
Because you get caught up. It's like, you look like this. You're hot. You're hot. You're hot. You're hot. You're hot. Like models, like you hear that all the
Yeah, of
time. And it's
course.
like,
And you get
okay,
a lot
but
of
you're
attention.
a human. Like, who
Yeah.
are you inside? Like,
Yeah.
looks will fade.
Yeah.
There's going to be a day when you're not going to have these looks. Who are you?
Sometimes they fade within an hour. By the end of the night, they take off all the makeup and it's not the same.
We've seen a lot of crazy things in the
You
industry.
know what I mean? Like sometimes look fade real quick. But yeah. What's it like dating as a 20-year-old on this island?
So after you broke up,
Damn, was that a heavy-
how's
That
your
long
dating
pause.
life?
Dude, it's rough out here.
In what
Like,
way?
I've stayed to myself now. I'm at the point where I'm just kind of like, I don't even care. I'd rather just be alone because the person that I'm going to like, the next partner that I have is going to have to be at the level that I am. So like, I'll literally be asking questions like, what time do you wake up?
Damn.
Like if you ain't up by like 7 the latest, dude, no.
So
Cut.
what are you looking for?
Red flag.
Tell me what you're looking for.
What am I looking for?
Yeah, give me an example of the perfect significant other.
Someone who has a sense of self.
Okay.
Someone who understands.
What does that mean?
Someone who understands who they are, what they love, who their friends are, what represents them. Like, I know for me, like a big thing that represents me is my discipline. Are they a disciplined person? Yeah, like I don't want someone that's like going out in the bars and getting hammered every weekend.
Or playing video games all day long.
No, I want someone who's really passionate and like who's hardworking and who's just genuine. But that's
so generic though.
It's really not though. It's so hard to find. Like you'd be surprised. Like it's really not. Like to find those qualities in someone nowadays, it's like, I'd rather be alone. Because I'm so content on where I'm at with life that I'm chilling. Yeah. Like I'm good. Like I'm in no rush to like find anything. Like I'm doing my own little thing, but it's hard out here. Like
in what way?
Dude, but you know how you said it's generic? Like working hard is generic. I think is like if you say you like someone that works hard, that can apply in different things. You don't need someone to work hard in business or a law degree. Maybe he works hard and he's a construction guy. Yeah. And you would still find that attractive because he works hard, you know, like it doesn't have to be a certain type of work, but as long as you're
like you gotta have like things that you're passionate, like you gotta have like, what I mean by sense of self is like you gotta know who you are and what you love without another person.
Right.
And a lot of people date because they're scared to be alone. Facts. And like it's hard to find someone who is dating someone because it's like, I genuinely want the best for you, you know. And I've been that person who's been like, no, hang out with me instead of going to do this. And it's like, why was I doing that? Like what inside made me do that, you know? So it's like finding someone who can truly genuinely be happy for you. That's so rare. Yeah. Like even in friendships, like I'm so picky with the people that I bring around, even myself now. Like I don't really have many friends. I have maybe 2-3 really close friends, and everyone else is just like an acquaintance to me. Like,
well, that's in general in life. You don't to have 4 really good friends is very rare.
It's so time consuming.
Yeah.
Because, really, friendships are relationships too.
Yeah. Of
course. It takes so much energy. Not so much energy, but it takes energy to be a good friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It takes time.
Yeah.
I know like the people around me are the most high valued people, and like take money out of it. Like they could be poor, but like they're working. They're happy with themselves.
Yeah.
They're genuine. They know who they are. They know what they represent. They know what they are and aren't okay with. They know that if they're put in a situation where it's like people are pressuring them, that they can remain who they are, you know? And I feel like who you hang around is also who you're going to become, because I've been around horrible people and I started to become horrible.
Of course.
You know?
Of course.
Yeah, but people don't see that. They don't get that.
You don't realize it in the moment.
No.
So looks doesn't matter? Looks doesn't matter? Height doesn't matter to you? Physicality doesn't matter? Of course.
I'm going to have to be attracted to you. That also comes to like dating now. It's like, okay, I work really hard for my body. Are you in the gym? Are you having that level of discipline? Are you taking care of yourself?
Because it shows they love themselves.
Yeah,
too.
It's not about like being like toned up. It's not, oh, that's so hot. It's, wow, that was hard work. And you suffered and you got comfortable with suffering and you take care of yourself. It's so much deeper than just being
ding dong dang ding. You nailed it.
Yeah. So like that too is like another thing. It's like I'm gonna look at you and I'm gonna literally break you down as a person.
There we go. This is the answer that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Remember now, I'm not a little kid.
Yeah.
Everything. There's a reason why I ask these questions, because as you get older, you can tell a lot by a person by the questions they ask and the answers you receive.
Yeah.
You understand? So all this thing, it's not like, oh, I'm very superficial. I'm just trying to figure out how much you know or how much you don't know.
Yeah.
And like I said, you nailed it. Nailed it.
I mean, that's a big thing. It's like you want, like, it's so hard to find people who take care of themselves. Like, I know that sounds crazy and it sounds so basic,
Mike, look at your belly.
Dude, I live a life of service. I serve others. I am in the gym every day, lifting people up. While they're getting their work, I am eating Doritos and telling them what to do.
We love it though. We need that.
It's the coach's lifestyle. If you look at every coach in this organization, we're all a little thick, okay? And we enjoy our lives, goddammit. So leave me alone, dude.
Mike's an exception. We're all turning into fighters.
Of course. I understand.
No, but yeah.
No, but I do honestly, dude. Like, and I tell my girlfriend this too. Is like, I need to take care of myself, because it's not just about. And I do work. I get my work in too, like here and there. But my diet's absolute shit. But it's really about I think what fitness is really about is about how you feel. Like, you feel so good when you're healthy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Your body can recover more. That flu didn't hit as hard as the last one because you're in shape. It's like, it's a more quality life. We're meant to be doing things. Like our ancestors were hunters and gatherers. They were running. They weren't sitting around and ordering Uber Eats. They were getting after it, hunting the fucking thing. You know what I mean? Like there was, and for all of a sudden, like, because the technology is available for us to switch up and just be so lazy and comfortable. And America is so overweight. Like we're obese as a nation. You know what I mean? Like heart failure is our biggest, cause of death. So it's like we do have to take care of ourselves. And people may get on you and say, hey, you need to work out, but because they care about you and they want you to live the best life. Because guess what? I've been fat and I've been skinny, and I tell you, not skinny, but I've been in shape. And I tell you, it feels so much better to be in shape than to be overweight. I remember one time I was snowboarding at Mammoth in Utah, and not Mammoth and wherever the hell Mammoth is, but I was thinking of Park City because I went there too. Actually, it was Park City. Actually, I had that moment. I was in Park City and I was trying to time, snowboarding, the boots and shit.
Yep.
Dude, my stomach was in the way of like getting to my straps, and I'm up at altitude. I'm fucking 10,000 feet in the air. I'm like sucking in wind to fucking strap on the boots. You know what I mean?
I understand that because when I was fat, I couldn't put on my socks, so I had to roll on my bed.
Yeah, dude. The stomach gets in the way.
Oh my God.
Dude.
I agree.
I mean, it's okay though. Like you have to have those breaking like I said again, you have to have the breaking moments, but it's like, what are you going to do with that moment?
Yeah.
Like when you realize that your stomach's in the way, are you going to complain about it? Or are you going to be like, all right, gym
Or do
membership?
I got in shape after. I got a 6-pack shortly after that, actually, guys. I feel like for me, it comes in phases. I get in phases of motivation, and there's chapters
Motivation
in my
isn't real
chapters in my
discipline.
life. This is a book. There's chapters.
Is a book.
We have fit chapters and we have sloppy chapters.
Well,
you know what I'm
I
saying?
feel like it's just like I don't want to be that person who's like how you look, but it's like it's true. It's like
No, it is a direct. Yeah, it is.
Let me see. Like
it is a direct reflection of yourself.
yeah.
Oh,
And for me, when I call myself fat, I'm not really. You guys can see me on camera. I'm not that big.
hearsay.
Yeah, that's true. Dude, you called me out the other day. You're like, dude, look at those love handles.
Because
Chris
I
has
see
known
you.
He's known me for a couple years.
Exactly.
So yeah, facts.
You need someone like that in your circle.
Yeah, I
though.
do.
Yeah,
You need
he has
someone
me.
who's not scared to hurt your feelings.
Oh, I'm not scared at
No,
all.
No, Chris is the straightest shooter as they come. Ping, ping,
Bang,
ping,
bang, bang, bang.
right between the eyes.
That's good though. Like literally, you're like people don't understand the people around you will make or break you.
Yes,
Like,
iron sharpens iron.
The people around me have kept it so real with me, and like being in the industry I'm in, I need that. Like I need someone to be like, "Who do you think you are?
Yeah.
Sit down.
Yeah.
Let's talk."
Do you have any senior models in the industry that you look up to? Like around some island girls that been doing it for a little bit longer than you?
Yeah, of course. I
Drop some names. Drop
Yeah.
some names right now, live on the
Shout out,
pod.
shout
out to
out.
the pod. Let's go.
I mean, I definitely like fellow like girls that I work with now I look up to, like even my age, like a lot of the girls in the industry, like my friend Naya or Abeta or like, shoot, I'm trying to like think off the top of my head right now.
Oh, your
But
friends are like,
Coco-
damn it.
No, I know. I'm like, I don't want to call anyone out, but like these girls, like my friend Bella, like they bust their butt.
She
They're
inspires you.
grinding. They
motivate you,
They're
do
my
they?
age, and they're like, we're not settling for less.
Yeah.
And like they're working their butts off. And this is a tough industry to like really like you have to constantly be up to date on social media, like content all the time. Also, like if you have another job working it, and like these women are grinding their butts off to make
Yeah.
it. And it's like watching them and being like, dude, I admire this. I respect this about you because I know this ain't easy because I'm in it. So like seeing you work so hard, I'm like, oh my God, like this is inspiring to me.
Yeah.
Like go you know?
Did you ever think about trying? I know, like in Hawaii, like the Miss Hawaii thing, Chinatown thing is a big deal. Did you ever try that? Did
Miss
you?
Yeah,
Hawaii?
but try
Did you
no
do
pageantry.
pageants or any
You think-
pageantry?
Why? What do you know?
No,
I don't know
Yes, I
anything.
did pageantry.
You did?
Yes.
How did it
Oh.
go?
Oh, I didn't know that.
It wasn't good.
What
It was
happened?
horrible.
Why?
Number one, I was young,
How young?
like 18. I was the youngest girl.
You know, a lot of girls don't win that till their third or fourth time, right? Like they do it for a while before they finally.
Yeah, it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
It was horrible. It was horrible because I was trying to be someone I wasn't, and I got lost in that.
So you're faking it.
Yeah, I was faking it for sure, 100%. And so I was becoming someone I wasn't, or trying to show the world that I was, and it wasn't who I was. And I felt like if I would have went in and understood who I was, because I didn't even understand who I was. I was going into this pageant. I was competing with women who have careers. I was intimidated. They're like mid 20s, early 20s. I was 18. I was the youngest girl, and I didn't have discipline. So right then and there, I mean, if you don't have discipline, like these girls are fitness, they're like getting in shape, like they're getting ready, like they already know what pathway they're on. I didn't know any of this. I was a baby. I was like, I don't know. I graduated high school. Like, that was like my only accomplishment at the time. I was like, I don't know. I don't know
What high school you go to?
Kaleo.
Like shout out to Kaleo.
No.
You hate them.
Yes, we don't like Kaleo.
Why?
It's a horrible school.
Why?
It's a horrible school.
Tell us why. Live on the pod, all 55 listeners.
I've been waiting for this.
Yo, let's see it. Public school.
That was a rough school.
Why so?
In what way?
It's just like the teachers, they would just like, teachers just sometimes like, you think like because they're your teachers that they're there to help you. I went through like a lot of stuff growing up. Like I got held at gunpoint. I seen the helicopter in Kailua crash in front of my car. Like I've seen people.
Wait. What? I got questions about this one.
Gunpoint.
Let me finish this real quick.
No, I got the helicopter crash question. You asked the gunpoint question.
So seeing this, I would go to school. I'd have severe anxiety attacks. I had horrible PTSD at the moment. And like this is also dealing with other stuff in my life that I don't want to talk about. That was really insane to see. It was like going to school and I would have really bad PTSD. Like I would have these moments of meltdowns. I would like freak out. I'd be in class. And this is why I don't like to be uncomfortable, because it kind of like I've like lived in fight or flight as a kid. Like I basically lived in that. Like I feel like crazy shit was just happening all the time. Like
because of your environment, like stuff you're around, neighborhood.
Yeah, just like I felt like everything, like the most craziest things, like always somehow like aligned to where I would be there and have to watch it.
Like the plane crash.
Yeah, like stuff like that. And I'm just like, okay, like, or like one time, like just getting followed a lot in Kailua and like men like chasing you or like. Wait.
What do you mean chasing you or followed?
I've got chased out of Allen Davis with shovels. Like like crazy stuff like this. So
Allen Davis is a hike to get back in there.
So we were.
So you're running on those big ass rocks, like.
I was crying, running for my life, and this was like a couple months ago.
Wow.
And so like dealing with like this happens like
straight
so
meth heads or what was that?
Yeah,
what was that?
Crazy. Well, okay, so me and my friend, it was like early in the morning, and we're like, let's go for a hike, whatever. Like. It's really gorgeous out. The water was like, it was clear skies. It was freaking beautiful. There's a bunch of people, whatever. So we're swimming, we're having fun. We're like taking some photos or whatever. And so we're taking photos. And because I've been through all of this, I'm super street smart. Like I'm aware of everything that's happening all the time. So I'm always on my A game, looking around, like looking over my shoulder. And I go, oh, this isn't right. And I like look behind me. There's this guy, shirtless, uncle, probably on meth. Seemed like he was on meth. No shirt. Belly out, yellow construction shirt wrapped around his face with sunglasses on, holding a shovel. I look in the corner and I go, fuck. I was literally like, And he starts going like this. And I was like, oh, this is not going to be good. So then I look across, because there's the side you can jump on, and then there's like the beach side. I look across and I was like, who's he talking to? Like, who's this man signaling? I look across, there's another guy, and he's like picking up, like they're making like signs at each other, like signaling. And I was like, oh, I look at my friend and I go, and
That's weird.
Whenever we're together.
I'd be creeped out as soon as they start making signs to each other.
He literally started going like this. And I was like, oh, we got it. And then I look around, everyone's gone. We're the only people. And I was like, how did we? I looked at her and I said, grab your shit. I was like, grab your stuff. I said, put it in the bag. Let's go. I grabbed my phone. I was single at the time, but I grabbed my phone. I was like, hey, babe, like, are you here? We're going to come get you guys like right now. You can just start walking down. Because like,
Yeah.
obviously, I was like, I didn't know what to do. I had so much adrenaline.
Yeah.
I call my mom and I'm like, we're getting followed by shovel. She's like, what? And I'm like, Mom, I'm serious. And then I start running. And then they start following after us. The one guy starts going to the other side. The other guy starts coming behind us.
That's so
I look
crazy.
at my friend and I was like, run. You need to run. Like, go. Like, literally run. She takes her shoes off. She starts running and she's like, she stops. It was so funny. It's so funny now to look at it because it was just like a crazy moment. But then she's like falling and then she had to put her shoes back on and we're like literally in like running for our lives at this moment. So we had so much adrenaline and they start chasing us out. And thank God we're quick. So we grabbed our stuff. We dipped a couple of our things. Like we just left it. We're like, we gotta. I just grabbed my camera. I was like, this thing is expensive. Like I'm going. And then we're like running. We're screaming. We're crying. Like not screaming, but like we're crying because like that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, two girls.
Hell yeah.
By yourself.
my mom, she was like, call the cops. And
You should have just stand your ground and hit him with the 1, 2, 3.
yeah, that's why I got into boxing. I'm like, actually, if I can fight him, he's gonna be the next smoker. Yeah, so dealing with that, just like crazy things like that.
Wait,
happening.
can you finish that story? How did you get out of there? You were still running. I cut you off, but you're still running.
Yeah. So then we ran, and then we eventually just ran down the path. There was people. We warned the people that were there. We're like, hey, listen. They looked at us like we're crazy because we're in Hawaii. Like no one understands.
They're like, dude, we're on vacation. What are you talking about?
Like, and me and my friend are like bawling our eyes at this point. And then eventually we ran. And like when you're loud and and you like if you're kidnapping someone and they're screaming, like they let us go because obviously we're loud. We're screaming. We're running. Like we're gonna make a big scene. But we were straight up chased out of the access, and I was like, dude. And like this has happened. It was happening like every time we were together too. It kept happening. You and
that one girl? Mm-hmm. Weird.
We have the craziest stories together.
Who is that? Who is that one girl?
My best friend Josie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's like my sister. Like that's the one girl that's like in my little circle. But like we have the craziest experiences together.
You should bring her on the pod next time. You and Josie.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
For the follow-up episode.
That would be
You and Josie, besties. All right, so we were talking about you were stopped at gunpoint. What happened?
Yeah, what's the gunpoint one?
Okay, so this one caused a lot of PTSD actually.
Let's hear it.
This one has affected me. I just got over it maybe a year ago. And it happened like 3 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, it was brutal.
In Kalahale.
No. So I was in high school though. Yes. I was in high school at the point. My brother, he had like a couple of friends over and we all walked outside for like a couple minutes. They went to the car. We're all like hanging out by this car. It was like 2 houses down, whatever. Like we're just like all hanging out and we were like, oh, let's get in the car. Like, let's listen to music. Like everyone was in the house. People were just bored. So we're like, okay, whatever. So we're in the car listening to music, whatever. Couple like moments pass. We get out of the car. My mom, this is so random. My mom grew up in inner city Baltimore. So she always has trained me to be street smart. Like any situation, she's always. So she told me, she's like, if you ever get held at gunpoint, run. Because it's better than getting held up and getting kidnapped or raped. Like anything like that, like brutal stuff, but it's real. Like it's real life. She was like, you're beautiful. You need to know this. And I was like, okay, I don't think that's ever going to happen. But so it happened. We get out of the car.
You jinxed it.
And I look at this car and I was like, this is really weird. Like I don't remember any of our friends having this car, but okay, whatever. So I'm walking around one of the vehicles. I see the car. These 2 guys come out. They put on like they had their ski masks on and they hold up a gun. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I looked for a minute and I was like, oh, this is funny. I'm like, this is a funny joke. And then I was like, oh, this isn't a joke. This really isn't a joke. And then they were like saying whatever. But
Kaneohe? This happened in Kaneohe?
It happened in Kailua. Like, yeah.
Shit.
Wow.
And yeah, it was crazy.
Kailua is such a peaceful, beautiful
It's really
town.
not. I could tell you all my stories.
I know, but you would think like from the outside
really
looking
not.
in, you would be like,
It's
wow.
all an illusion.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So anyway, so then they held up their guns and they were like, they said something, but I was in fight or flight. So you know what happens. You
ran.
You were
Did
like,
you run
save
like
your
your
life.
mom told you?
Yeah. So I ran. I left everyone. I ran through cars because I was like, okay, like don't run down the road. They're going to see you. So I ran to my neighbor's house and I ran like on the side of the houses. I went inside and I said, hey, I think our friends are getting robbed, but I'm not sure. Because it seemed like a joke. Like how it went down. Like when things like that happen.
When you ran, they didn't try to stop you?
No.
They just let you go?
Yeah.
Wow.
They let the girls go. They held up the guys. One of the guys got pistol whipped. They got robbed. The girls got to go. There's like 2 other girls with me. The girls ran after I ran because they were like, oh, what the fuck? So they started running.
Follow the leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, come with me. Let's go get safe. And so anyway, so yeah, the guys got robbed. The cops came. We had to fill out all of our police report and everything. And like, it was a really gnarly night. And so after that, I had really, really bad PTSD. Like I couldn't really be alone. At night.
Was it at night?
Yeah, it was at night when it happened. I have a really hard time now. That's why I don't go out at night as well. That too.
Yeah.
Still to this day, it affects me. But I don't like to go out at night. I don't like to be out in the night. I don't like
bad things happen at night.
And so it was hard for me to like be alone or like be home alone or like I couldn't watch movies with ski masks or anything for 2 years. Like anything would like really throw me off completely.
Yeah.
Like it was bad. Like I think I went to therapy for it. It didn't help, but it was just like going through this like crazy stuff and then dealing with these mental breakdowns that I'd have from something like that because that's so traumatic.
Yeah.
And so then I'd, be in school and like that happened, and I think a year later the helicopter thing happened.
Tell us about that
Yeah.
one. The helicopter.
So-
Was that the one that happened in Waimanalo?
It
Or was
in
that the Kailua one?
The Kailua.
Where did that happen? Right there by the
Oniava.
Oh.
Yeah, straight on Oniava Street.
What
Was it a
happened?
military aircraft or private?
It was like one of those like where you can like pay like a tour guide.
Yeah.
What is that? Like a tour? I
Mhm.
don't know what that's called. But
Yeah.
so I played hooky from school this day. I was with my mom. Like the one day I played hooky. We're getting coffee.
The one day.
What?
Was it really?
At least she was with her mom.
Anyway,
Facts.
I was with my bestie. We're like driving down the road, and she was like, "What's that?" And I look up, and I was like, "Oh my god!" My first instinct, I was like, "We're getting bombed. Something fell from the sky." I was like, she was like, we were driving on the road that I landed on, and it literally, we're like, she was like, "Look out the window, get your head out the window. Like, I need you to get your head out the window so I know where to go." Because she was like, if she had to dodge anything.
Yeah.
So I have, this is so
She's
funny.
so street smart.
Yeah, she's so sure. She's
savvy.
like, she literally was like, "Get your head out the window. Tell me where I need to go. Stay calm." So I was like, okay. So I stick my head out the window. I'm like looking up. I'm like, "It's coming down." Like, I'm like, "It's coming down. It's coming down." And then she goes, "Oh shit." And she was like, "Oh my God." And I like look, and then you just see everything. And like, you see like, I don't want to get too, but like you see the bodies on the road.
Wow.
And then
What?
like you're seeing the bodies on the road, and you're seeing the helicopter.
you saw? Did you
Yeah.
see? Did you see the impact when it actually hit the ground?
I didn't know. I was looking up.
Wow.
So then I looked at it, and then I was like, and we were on the news for it actually. We got interviewed, but yeah, it was really crazy. And then so that as well.
Did everyone die on that one? On that
Yeah.
crash? Wow.
Yeah. So seeing all that, and then I just like, I've been through like so much more too. Like I felt like I was just always aligned where things like this were happening.
Yeah.
Like all the time. Like this is like a couple of stories of like many I have. So it's just like
That's so
going to
crazy.
school,
Man.
and none of the teachers, like no one knew, and I wasn't going to tell anyone because I didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
when you go through stuff like that, you don't
Yeah.
want to relive it, because every time you
course.
think about something, you're reliving that trauma. So I
And
would
plus,
have,
you probably explained it to like a few of your friends. So like explaining it for the 5th time, 6th time, 7th
Yeah,
time, it's
like,
just like, ah.
yeah,
you know?
and like, and then people are like, you didn't, like, not, people not believing you.
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, I would be in school. I couldn't pay attention because I felt like I always lived in fight or flight. So I felt like I was so focused on surviving mentally that I couldn't worry about school. Like school wasn't my focus because I had so much anxiety and PTSD that I was just like, oh my God. Like,
Yeah.
so I was like, I'd go to school and I'd have these mental breakdowns. Like I hated being in classrooms because I hated feeling stuck. I hated lockdown drills, any like sirens. I would like freak. I'd lose it. I would like have meltdowns. I would be like, I need to go. Like I would literally leave. I would like walk off campus. I'd be like, I
Yeah.
can't do this. Like nobody gets this. Like I can't. And so the teachers thought I was like exaggerating going through this, and they were like, why can't you just do this? Like you just like getting mad at me and frustrated and making comments and comments and comments. And I remember
They weren't being supportive.
no, not at all. No one cared. No one cared that I had anxiety. Like none of this. And also, just like going through all this, it was just crazy. And no
Yeah.
one even took a couple of minutes to be like, okay, what did you go through?
Yeah.
Like clearly something's not right. Because it's,
A lot of people that are 20 years old, I've never seen someone die in front of them.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean,
And
like,
I've
it's-
seen it like so, like this
That's
is not,
crazy.
like, this is like an ongoing thing. Like
Yeah.
there was like a guy that got hit by a motorcycle in Hawaii Kai the first day I was moving over to Hawaii Kai. We're driving down the road, and it's just like his arm is across the street from him, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, and this is with my best friend Josie, and I was
Wow.
like, we looked. She's like, Nessa, don't look. I looked, and then I was like,
That's crazy.
oh my God. Oh my,
Yeah.
it doesn't end. So like just dealing with this stuff, not having this support system at school, I was like, I don't need school. I don't need this. So I finished online. You know.
I remember when I was in the military, part of the aviation side of Navy, and there's something called the HAZREPs,
Yeah.
hazardous reports, and they would put them out every year. And the amount of so fixed wing is like regular airplanes. They call it fixed wing, and then rotary is like helicopters. So like the amount of helicopter crashes compared to fixed wing regular airplane crashes was like literally like 5 to 1. It was like there's for every one airplane that it was probably like more like 8 or 10 to 1. It was something crazy. Like basically helicopters are not safe. They crash all the time. Even on this island, you've seen it happen in Pearl Harbor. You've seen it at the Sandbar, Waimanalo, Kailua. Like even since I've only lived here since 2010, and there's been at least 10 helicopter crashes. You know what I mean? It's like
Crazy.
helicopters are pretty freaking nuts, dude. They're pretty nuts. It happens a lot. And the fixed wing too, like you got that dive company that skydiving company in Waikiki or on the North Shore, and they've had a few accidents too. You know, like with maintenance and stuff.
It's crazy.
Dude.
Like, why? Why do you need to go on a helicopter ride?
Helicopters are nuts, man.
Like,
I've done the tour around the island. It's super cool. By the way, it's
He
super
starts
cool.
promoting them.
Whoa, he was in the Air Force.
Yeah,
like
I was in the Navy. I flew I was on the P3, which you've probably seen out in Kaneohe. It's the one with the big dick that stuck out the back of it.
Big
four turboprops, and it had the big thing that like no other. The thing is like no airplane looks like that. It has like a yeah. I can cut in a photo for you guys, but it's like a sensor. You know, it's a sensor to detect submarines and stuff. But you know, like those aircraft. Are a lot safer than a helicopter because they got 4 engines. You know what I mean? If one goes down, we still got 3.
Yeah,
We'll figure it out.
Helicopters,
we
it's
can
like
even
we're
land
done.
that fucker with 2. You know what I mean? Like helicopter, your one engine goes down, you are
You're one and done.
Damn.
fucked.
Oh,
Yeah, that would be a shitty way to die, wouldn't it? Just going down in a helicopter, like, wow, this is so beautiful.
But it's okay. The trauma adds character. It's why I'm so funny.
man, dude, she lived a lot. In 20, she's only 20.
Yeah.
Don't forget, she can't even drink alcohol.
Yeah.
You know, at age 20. Damn.
Do you know one thing I was thinking about? I was like, dude, I'm 35. You're older than me. Dude, but what I was gonna say, think about the percentage of people that never even make it to our age. They only get 15 years of life.
That's
They only get 20
crazy.
years. I know people that died in high school. I know people that died during high school, after high school. What I'm trying to say is like every year it really is a blessing. You know what I mean? Who knows what happens after we die and stuff? Like, you know, that's up for debate. But it's like a lot of people won't see it to our age. A lot of people won't see it to 35. And I hope you do. You're 20 years old, but to get 15.
I don't know, boxing now. Ooh,
But what I was going to say,
taken out.
a lot can happen in 15 years.
A lot.
You
a
know what
lot.
I mean? Like,
And well, like everyone, my whole life has always been like, you're so mature for your age. You're so like what? And I
You
never
are.
fit in. But now that I'm older, I understand. Okay, like my life wasn't go have fun with your friends. It was like I have severe anxiety.
Yeah.
This is causing depression. What do I do? You know, so it's like just going through all this. I'm like, okay, like this made me who I was, and I feel like it's even shaped who I am now. To where it's like, okay, like you've been through all this. You have a little bit more of a setback because you couldn't really like focus the way other people could during high school and stuff. So now you have to work a little harder and you have to play catch up and stuff like that. So
going back to dating, see how dumb guys are? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They don't understand. They just look at you, oh my God, she's a pretty thing.
Yeah.
You know, but the experiences you've had,
yeah,
you
they're
understand?
crazy.
So what I'm
They don't
saying,
see that.
They don't see that at
Yeah.
all.
They
That's
don't
how-
see the street smarts, or even they don't see how freaking savvy your mom is and how she
Exactly.
groomed you. Your mom groomed you up to be how you are.
yeah,
you know
no,
what I mean?
my mom has always told me like she was the one who put it in my head like be who you are, number one, and never need anyone. Not
Yeah.
even me. She's just like I look up to my mom for everything. Like my mom taught me everything.
She's
I
your
know.
best friend.
She's
Yeah.
my best friend. She's like the one woman I'm like yeah, people talk about their parents, but like my mom is like my mom, like, you know, me and my dad, we're okay, but we don't really like we're not super close. My mom played both parts. Like my mom has given me so much love that I never felt like I was missing anything, you
Yeah.
know? So it's amazing to have
Your mom
that
is so
person.
cool.
Yeah.
I've met
super
a lot of moms. I know a lot of moms, but I will say your mom is one of the coolest moms.
Super cool.
You got a
Amazing.
cool
Oh my
mom.
God. When I first met your mom,
She's super cool.
so many stories. She's so fun.
Down to earth. I
Oh
can't.
my-
And we need to plug in some of her old photos when she was on the block
We
looking
need
all
her on the
gangster.
pod. What do you
We're
think?
going-
Do we need her on the pod? Mike?
Absolutely,
Please.
dude. We
Her
need Missy on the pod. I
stories-
love Missy.
Dude.
Her
She's so
stories
cool.
are nothing. Like,
Oh
she
yeah,
tells me her stories.
Like
'cause
one. Give us one
One story.
story
One of your
without
favorite.
explaining it.
She was
So-
in a drive-by.
She told me she was in a drive-by both ways.
No, so she was in a drive. Like she grew up in inner. Like
Yeah.
people think like when you're like, oh, I'm from the city. My mom was like, no
Baltimore.
money,
Baltimore.
just making
I've
it
been
in
there, bro.
life. Like
After to keep going, but I'm gonna tell a Baltimore story after
All
this.
right.
yeah, so she like grew up inner city, like getting jumped, like literally surviving.
It's hood.
and it's like that's like breaking the generational curse. Like that's what I look up to my mom the most, is because she's the most powerful woman, and this is why I'll never play the victim card, because I always refer back to my mom, because I'm like, my mom came from nothing,
Yeah.
like literally nothing, like no family that was like oh, we love you for you, and like be who you are.
Think about
like,
how tough she is to be the woman she is now without growing up with
no
like,
support.
Yeah.
So like seeing her who she is now and where she's at, I'm like, I'll never play the victim card.
Yeah.
You came from nothing. I have no excuse.
You
But,
can't. You got a lot of opportunities compared to her.
yeah,
You know what I
and
mean?
and it's so amazing because she always tells me, she was like, you're my why. And she was like,
You are my what?
my why.
Why she keeps
why
going.
she works so hard.
Yeah.
Why she pushes through, and like hearing that is like the relationship we have is just
You guys are like besties for real.
that's my soulmate. Like that woman is my ride or die.
Yeah.
Like it is just us in the world,
Yeah.
and I'm fine with it. Like
Yeah.
I'm loving it. Like
She's
I'm like,
gangster.
yeah, she is. But it's just
Dude,
like
one time I was leaving Baltimore. I was at Baltimore. I went to Orioles game, Baltimore Orioles. And literally, we're in the last inning. The game's coming to wrap, and the intercom comes on. Guys, stay put in your seats. There's a riot happening outside. We ask that you stay put in your seats. We won't let anyone leave for the next hour. Long story short, we sat that out, and then they let us out. Dude, would they let us out and straight into a riot? Like, there's people breaking windows, jumping on cars. And I'm talking like hood dudes. Like it was fucking.
the most Baltimore.
And I was dating a girl at the time, and I grabbed her. She was from Baltimore. I grabbed her. I was like, dude, let's get out of here. Like I just like run, and like this pure mayhem all around us. People breaking windows, breaking cars, and like Baltimore's nuts, dude. Like Baltimore's a real inner city, like fucking crazy shit. Like guys is nuts out there. They take all the risks. You know what I mean?
So I was born and raised in Hawaii, right? So when I hear these stories like that, it's really hard for me to.
Dude, I tell people too. It's like I feel like mainland gangster is different than island gangster.
Oh yeah.
Like mainland like you guys just started shooting people. Like these guys, these guys been shooting people from the jump. I mean, they've been. It's different. It's like there's real gangsters over there. There's cartel over there. There's mafia over there. There's fucking. I mean, there's that stuff here too. But I'm just saying, it's been over there. It started over there. You know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy. You know what I mean?
That's.
But she grew up in Baltimore, so that if you want a city to build character, Baltimore is a freaking city to build your character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look at even Tank Davis. Everyone loves Tank Davis. He's one of the top boxers right now, and he's from Baltimore. He's a real Baltimore boy. He grew up in the streets too, and that's why people love him. They see the authenticity of the
It was
real
so
streets.
funny when I started boxing. So my mom, growing up in Baltimore, you can get into fights. She fought. She knows. Like even before amateur fighting, like just street fighting. Like she's gotten jumped before.
Yeah.
And so she goes, "All right, get in your fighter mode." And I go, "Huh?" And she goes, "Come on, like get in your fighter mode." And I go, "Huh?"
What's that?
And she was like, I was like, "Huh?" And I was like, "Okay." And I'm like this. I'm like not knowing like my ones and twos. I was like, "Okay." And she was like, "Oh my God, I failed you." And it was just so funny because it's like taking like how she had to grow up and comparing how I had to. And it was just like such a beautiful moment for her to be like, I'm so happy you don't know.
Yes.
At the same time. And it was such a powerful moment of like that. She told me, she was like, this as a mother means so much to me because you don't know that.
Because, I bet you for her, there was that one point in her life where she had to make that choice to move to provide a better future for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We had to leave my whole family.
And she made that choice. And then, because if you grew up in Baltimore, you'd be a completely different person.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Completely different person. So she made that sacrifice at some point to bring you to the islands and, to raise a family over here.
Yeah.
And it makes her proud that you don't know how to scrap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It makes her proud that you don't
Not anymore. She knows how now.
Actually, that's facts. She knows that. But it makes her proud that you were sheltered from the hard stuff she had to go through.
When did you move here? Like, when did you?
5. Yeah. She always told me, she was like, wait, what was it exactly? She was like, shoot. Oh, she was just basically like, I want to give you everything that I never had. And she was like, whether that's like love, financially, whatever it ever was. And like, I can tell you this, like her loyalty to me and my brother is unmatched. It is insane. And whenever I've ever had an interest in, she's put her all in. Yeah. Like boxing. I swear to God, I kid you not, I came home 2 days ago. Mike Tyson's workout routine was on my table. In the pantry. She goes, let's figure it out. And we sat down and we got a whole routine together. Nice. And she just, the support for any modeling. Like she was like, all right, let's go to Big Island. She came with me.
Oh.
She's been last year too. She came with me, and then I went, and I was like, this isn't for me. And she's like, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Let's go back to boxing. Like, what do you love? And then boxing, like when I cried that night, she was like, can you handle this? If not, I love you. It's okay. Let's figure it out. Like just having that person,
Support.
that unconditional loyalty and love is just like, I don't need anyone else, you know?
Yeah,
and like, that's
facts.
also, I feel like why I don't have like many people is because I don't feel like I need them. Like
No,
I
you
have my
don't.
mama. That's it. We're
Yeah.
good. You know, my couple friends are chilling.
What are some nice things you do for your mom?
Some nice things. Oh, I am like, so she, when I was going through my low point, she was as well. And we made like a pact together that we were kind of like at our lowest together. And we
Yeah.
made a pact that like we were going to change. And I think that staying disciplined together and like just having each other, and like the thing I value most about our relationship is that we're not scared to hurt each other's feelings.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what I do for her. It's like,
Keep it real.
yeah. I'm like, and I also like obviously take care of her like around the house and stuff.
Yeah.
Or like I make her breakfast every morning, like her lunches, like whatever, like that. But like, but stuff that actually matters is like we're not scared to hurt each other's feelings. Like we'll call it out.
honest.
Yeah. And it's brutal. Like sometimes like I'm like, dude, why would you say that? And she's like, I love you. Like this is out of love. Like this is because I love you. And like having that person in your corner, it's like, whoa, you know. But yeah, I feel like that is the one thing I do is that we just keep it real with each other and we hold each other accountable. Like if you say you're gonna do it, do it.
Yeah.
You know.
This goes back to what we said.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Full circle. Wow. Man, I think we need to run an episode 2. What do you think,
Dude,
Chris?
I
Should we run an
agree,
episode
man.
2?
Dude.
Sorry,
And
that got
we need your mom though.
we bring her in the
Let's
next
bring the mom. Let's bring the
Dude.
mom. Yeah.
Hey,
I think Missy would love to be on the pod with us.
She would love it.
I think she likes us too. Chris, what do you think? She's pretty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she likes. She's
Yeah,
cool
of
with
course.
us.
Yeah.
I think she'll do it.
We have a guest book over here.
That's so cute. I mean,
Vanessa,
yes.
do you mind giving us a nice
would
signature?
love.
What page is that? How many guests deep
Dude,
are we?
Man, here,
Are
let
we?
me count.
Yeah, let's count those out. Let's count those out. How many guests have we had on the Champ Chat podcast?
Dude, let's see.
Obviously, you can't count ourselves.
I know. 1, 2,
2,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You'll be our number 13.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. That's a good
What?
number.
No, it's a good
Awkward
number.
No, it's not.
Do you know James
but
Harden?
you like awkward.
James Harden is one of the best basketball players in the league, and he wears number 13.
Oh, perfect.
Thank you so
If you
much.
needed any justification to beat
Give
this.
us
Can I use the whole page?
Oh, the whole
Absolutely.
page.
You can
Give us
write
a nice
notes. You can
message.
freaking say-
My name is Chu. This is Mike. Champ Chat.
Yep, our producer,
You know what I'm
young
saying?
Jamie. Young Jamie. Young
shout out
Jamie.
to Jamie. Thank you very much, Jamie.
We love
Attila,
her.
who didn't make it or text back. Shout out to Attila. I love you,
What's he doing?
Attila.
Where are you at?
Attila, where you at? We have one camera unmanned, and you're supposed to be here. Goddammit.
Oh man.
No, but it's a big family over here at Champ Chat.
Dude,
and,
this
we make it
dude.
work.
Dude,
You know what we do the best? We roll with the punches.
Oh,
We always roll with the punches.
yes, we do. That's
Yep.
what we do.
Thank you so much,
Thanks,
Vanessa.
No, thank you guys.
Dude, man.
Dude, it's been such a good one.
Wow. Oh, yeah, we have a model, but she says she's insecure. I highly doubt that. She's a
I don't
fighter.
see it.
She's a fighter.
She's a real scrapper.
Man, her mother is her best friend,
Bestie.
and we're gonna get her on the pod.
Baltimore native.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I'm excited about this one.
Hey, how was it? Did you have fun,
10
Vanessa
out of
May?
10.
Oh,
I had so
10
much
out of
fun.
10.
My favorite people.
Will you shout out our podcast on your personal social?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, please.
It's
put you
already
on
on
the
there.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
go.
Bow, bow, bow.
Tessa.
Dude, do you hear the music? This
I hear it.
Oh, yeah.
Hell
You hear
yeah.
that?
Once again, guys, episode, I'm guessing 7 or 8. Mike and Chu, Champ Chat. We'll see you guys around. Let's go.
Peace.
Dang, that was good. That was a beautiful.
High five. High five.
We don't play games.